guilty of crime.
All right, we get started. Welcome, everybody. We're back. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. We got a lot today, guys. We're covering everything that you possibly need to know, but we're not doing the same coverage as everyone else. And the people that aren't on the live stream tonight are going to be jealous that they didn't get to watch this live. So let me fix myself real quick. My hair is fading in and out in the background there. Oh, I just faded myself out. 1 second. Let me try to fix that. Come on in, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. Listen, today we're focusing on new FBI video and demand release, as well as a new message from Savannah Guthrie to the kidnappers. Also, who are the suspects? And multiple persons are now confirmed by FBI. And that's what I'm honing in on today. These people here, and then add the video. There's more than one person. There's more than two. There may even be three. We've got you covered today on Guilty of Crime, and you won't be bored for not even a second. I assure you. Come on in. Relax. Bear, good to see you. Hey, Jay, good to see you. My husband, Bobby, loves you. He's been waiting for you all day. Yes, I'd love to say hi to your husband. Hello, Bobby. I hope you're watching me on your big screen TV. Good to see you, buddy. Keep coming back. All right, guys, listen up. Hello to everybody, and this is what we're focusing on today. First, I'm going to read what Pima County has said. Then I'm going to show you the new video released and all the information that law enforcement wants us to focus on. However, doing our own sleuthing is much more important than some of the ish that's coming out, and I'll tell you why today. All right. I'm also getting back into those band members. Somebody asked, and I've got it, baby. We've got the band members, and we've got the specific band member that has he has a cut on his lip where he doesn't, where you, when you grow a mustache, you can see the cut, that you can also see the cut in the video of these guys. So we're heavily focusing on who the suspects are, how many people there are, and oh my God, we're doing some linguistics for Annie Guthrie. And I gotta tell you, I thought it was odd the first time around, but breaking down Annie, the only thing that Annie actually says in any of those videos were pleads for herself. I'm a baby. I'm only human. I noticed it and I was like, why is she baby talking and saying mommy and all that? And guys, I'm so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited by this. I guess I'm excited by the fact that I looked up the power of attorney situation. And I want to tell you my theory on the power of attorney situation, that if you go back 2 episodes ago, is spot on to what I think happened in this case. Because listen, if you're a power of attorney, You don't have to wait for your mom to croak over. All you have to do is either put her in a coma, make her go missing, or you can, well, take her life. And a power of attorney will take over for mama and give you her assets so that you make sure you're still paying her home, her home insurance, her house bills, her water, her PG&E, and you can write yourself a check and go cash it, baby, because a power of attorney would be the same thing as if, and this would never happen. I'm just going to tell you guys, Mama Pearl, if I was a power attorney over Mama Pearl, and I said, we're going to kidnap Mama Pearl, and we're not going to see her for a long time, let's get rid of her. I'm the power of attorney. I have bank account access. I can pay her bills and my bills. I could do anything I want anyway because power of attorney gives you that. Now, I want you to know I am the power of attorney, and it doesn't matter to who. I have several situations into where I am in control of financial things. I'm trusted. I'm financially good as far as that goes. But if I were to make a person go missing, get in a car accident, be kidnapped, it's on like Donkey Kong. And I promise I'm going to give you the more formal terms in a bit. So I kept thinking, is it a hoax or is it an inheritance? And I'm thinking it can't be an inheritance because with an inheritance, you would literally have to wait until that person is found dead or missing long enough to be declared dead. Okay. And that takes a really long time. It could take years to declare somebody dead and get an inheritance, especially if you're the suspect. But if you were to suddenly, my Mama Pearl was to go missing, all right, I know I know what a power of attorney is. I assure you, I have lots of knowledge in the power of attorney. I'll read it in a bit. So I'm going back to my theory that about the power of attorney and what happened. Something happened in between. Power attorney is a document. There's Mama Pearl. Thank you. Power attorney is a document that gives a certain person the right to take over someone's finances and other things in their life, whether they're dead, missing, or in a coma. Okay. I can go take my mom's car. I know. I understand the power of attorney was between Annie and Tommaso. I get that. We've looked at that. But this is my theory. If you go back to 2 episodes, I told you what I believe they were trying to do. Okay? So I understand what you're saying, but go back to a couple episodes. Pineda says, I was forced to become my dad's POA and I was scared to sign the documents. By all 3 brothers said I had to be the one. My parents live 2 hours away. I see them every weekend. Exactly. So the person that's 10 minutes away from their mom and is going to ultimately have control over the assets. Let's say mom gets dementia. Let's say Nancy comes back and the family has nothing to do with it. We get her home. She's safe. The people that are watching her and taking care of her financing are the people that have the power. So I ask you, who are the suspects? What are the motives? And why? All right. So let's keep going. Tommaso is a key suspect. You got that, in my opinion. Let me say hi to everyone and then we'll get into it. I was just really excited to bring it all together and say, why in the hell would some power of attorney is and no, a power of attorney? Yes, you're right. Power of attorney ends at death, but you have a power of attorney in certain stipulations. No, and a power of attorney, there's different forms that you would fill out, and I'll get to that. An inheritance would take too long. That's the problem. An inheritance, you would have to declare her dead if nobody finds her body. So let's get into all of this, and then I will tell you, I'll read you exactly what a power of attorney is and the stipulations in it. And again, Nancy's taxes were due in October. Would she get a notice here in January? All right, so let's get going. We haven't even started today, and I came at you guys hard. I've been following this all day, and I know where I'm going with it. Cool and Chris, choo, choo, doing amazing. Thank you. And we've got 2 awesome giveaways. So Velvet Unicorn, thank you for becoming a member. Very smart. You can win if you have a membership. We're giving away custom cookies with whatever you want, I believe, printed on it for Valentine's Day, made just for you. We're giving away a Valentine's Foxy box and also memberships. You just got to be a member. All right. So get your membership. Say thank you to Cool and Chris if you got one. And again, for the $2 super chat. Choo, choo. All right, let's get into it, guys. Again, I am here to agree to disagree with whoever wants it. If you come at me respectfully and say, Jay, I agree to disagree with you and tell me why, let's do it, baby. I don't think that backpack guy lurking around is the direct key, but it may be a key to the other people. So let's just get into it. And yeah, there's different. Thank you. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Jules, so much. And thank you, Deb. They're different power of attorneys. Some are not financial. Some are with limited access to the bank, pay the bills. Some are medical. You decide for their treatment or when to pull the plug. Ding, ding, ding. Again, I didn't have my document pulled up. I was having trouble with my StreamYard before I came on. There's several powers of attorney, but there are also fake ones that you can produce that you don't even file. All right. So let's keep going. Yeah. A kidnapping with no ransom. Come on, man. Y'all really think that? Jump us. Good to see you. And again, respectfully, you can agree to disagree. And I'm cool with that. You guys know me. You've been here long enough to know, hey, I love having a good debate and a good conversation. I'm here for it. And I'm here to say, hey guys, I was wrong. I was wrong. I just presented this whole thing, and now I'm back next week, and I was wrong. I'm totally open to saying that too. All right, the backpack pictures of the FBI are totally different. That's what I'm saying, and I'm going to tell you why as well. Why this case is all botched and effed up. That's part of it. All right. Someone want to be my power of attorney? I'll be your power of attorney. I'm that for several people. I'm trusted with finances, put it that way. Bree, welcome back. Good to see you. Hello and thank you. All right, guys, we're going to just start right off the bat with first, I put that back up. I couldn't show it again yesterday. And now let's start with the thing that everybody's talking about. And then I'll show you that FBI has now said that they're confirming multiple suspects. And then we're just going to jump right into who I think it is and why. Okay. Again, you guys are here in chat away, discuss, agree to disagree, but do it tactfully and gracefully. Don't barge in here and say you're a dumb mother trucker, Jay. You don't know what you're talking about. No, we use words here and communication skills to get across what we'd like to say, and we can apologize, agree to disagree, or even say I'm wrong. So that's how we do it over here. Let's go. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, get yourself a membership, because at the end of this show is my last show until next week. All right, I'm out of here for Valentine's Day. I'm going to do my thing with the family, so I won't be here tomorrow. I might be here Monday, but y'all are on your own watching replay reruns. So we're doing some giveaways. We're going to have a show and then go out with a bang. All right, now let's just jump into the very latest.
In Arizona are bringing in some new tools in the search for Nancy Guthrie today. In the race to identify the masked and armed individual captured on Nancy's doorbell camera, they now have a forensic height camera involved on the scene at Nancy's house. That's used to measure somebody's height from a video or a photo. Pima County Sheriff, meantime, now asking neighbors who live within a 2-mile radius for any footage that includes cars or vehicle traffic, pedestrians, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. And this just in from TMZ as well. New video said to be on the FBI's radar of a man with a couple of backpacks, 2 backpacks. They say was shot at 1:52 in the morning, about 5 miles from Nancy's home. Back now to senior national correspondent Brian Enton, who's live once again in Tucson with this and more. What are you following, Brian?
Yeah, I want to take a look at that new video that's been obtained again from a Ring camera, because this is new and it's interesting when you really look at it closely. It's from about 5 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's house, and you see a man there. He's got a backpack on. Remember, the guy who came to Nancy's house had a backpack on.
All right, so everything we're doing in the beginning of the show is showing you the new FBI video, the new demand release, the new video from Samantha, and then we're getting to who the suspects are and the multiple persons confirmed. Edith, it's so good to see you back, my friend. Thank you for getting a membership. Foxy Amazon, thank you for that. And Sirius says, choo choo crew. All right, absolutely, Kalisa. I got a whole section on how local PD messed up. Okay, I've got the deal, the real deal, to tell you why people are saying that. Okay, this is not just people saying it, it's coming from the correct people saying it. And I was also able to find my power of attorney research that I did earlier. If somebody's missing, can a power of attorney control their assets? And typically, usually yes, but only if the power of attorney is already in effect and it's legitimized. It's legit and stamped and sealed. How it works, we'll get to. Okay, so let's keep going. And again, I'm so here for the conversations and even ones that don't agree with me. Let's do it. I love it. In real life, when you meet me at CrimeCon, I never stop. All right, Nina, thank you so much for the super sticker as well as Nets World. All right, let's go back to Brian. This is all the latest.
His face is not covered, and we've blurred the face because police haven't said that this person is involved at all. But we know that the sheriff's office has the video and is looking into the video. But you see him go up to a gate. It looks suspicious. He kind of goes near a trash can, is looking around, and then walks away. But this is 5 miles away again from Nancy's house, and it's shot around the same time, at least according to the timestamps and what we're hearing, as when the Ring camera was first disabled here at Nancy Guthrie's house. So it's hard to imagine that this person would be able to make it from 5 miles away over to here to Nancy's house. But at the same time, Connell, we know that investigators are looking into it and are trying to figure out.
And it's good that they are. I mean, they should. To me, the backpack that they're putting out there doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. For some reason, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, that doesn't seem like the same backpack. And then the video with the two and the guy's stature and how he walks. But again, that could be another person that's involved. I don't think so, but we're going to bring it up because everyone's talking about it.
The timing of it all. Also new today, there was a tent that was put up outside Nancy Guthrie's front door. This happened a couple of hours ago. There was equipment brought in where they were taking photographs inside the tent. Remember, that's right where the blood was found. When we went up there a couple days after all this started, this tent was put around where the blood was. But what they also had was, and you mentioned it, it's called a forensic height board. We saw them going in with the forensic height board that they were carrying. And they use that, we're told, to figure out how tall the suspect is. They go back and they look at the surveillance photos and video.
Also, it was suspected to rain last night, so they also put that up so that it wouldn't rain on them and mess up their work. I did not know it was Foxy's birthday today. We just had a birthday with Tiff. Foxy, my bad. I don't know why I spaced out or what day it is, but happy birthday to Foxy Amazon. She's our family. She knows it. Happy birthday, Foxy. If there are any other birthdays or you guys want to shout out, just throw it in chat. I'll do my best to catch it. Allie Callie, you were in San Francisco yesterday and you didn't hit me up? Oh, come on. All right, let's get to it.
And they compare it with the forensic height board, and you're going to see here he's carrying it right there. We zoomed in. That's the forensic height board. Hopefully to figure out how tall this person is, then they can put that out, which would obviously help narrow down who it is with all of the leads coming in, Connell.
All right, I want to bring in Sheriff Mark Daniels on this, Brian. You stay with us as well. He's Cochise County, Arizona, so nearby, knows the area, has joined our show on numerous occasions.
And again, guys, you guys know about the gloves. We're going to get into all that. The gloves could be a distraction since it took almost 2 weeks to find them. And you found the first one just laying out there and then a second one, rumor has it. Of course, we're going to talk about that. Yes, that could be the thing that solves the case. If there's sweat or a man has hair on their hands, typically, and their arms. So if it was a man, maybe he left a hair in there. Maybe he has sweaty palms. There's some DNA. We might get lucky, like in the Koberger case, how they just found the sheath with his touch DNA and it went back. And who knows? All right. Yeah, they did it 12 ways. All right, this it got botched from the beginning, and they're admitting it.
Good to see you, Sheriff. Brian brings up a couple of things, so I'll just run it by you, big picture, to say whether it's the height board or whether it's this video of the guy with the backpack 5 miles away. What's your sense of where this investigation is on day 12 and whether they're really making progress?
Well, let me just say, thanks for having me on the show again, Connell. And when you look at traditional policing, that has come straight from your communities where the community, the citizens are giving us tips, working with us side by side. That's a huge plus. And then you look at the technological side of this, where you're bringing in the boards, you're bringing in the forensic, all the things you see working together with a collective effort of all. This case is in the right direction. It truly is in the fact that everybody's doing the right thing to solve this and bring some justice to the Guthrie family.
I wanted to ask, and Brian, could you hop back with us for a moment, the sheriff a question, because earlier, I think it was a couple of hours ago, when you and I were speaking, you mentioned some questions were being brought up about like who's in charge, right? I know, Sheriff Daniels.
And that's the thing. That is the major problem that we're going to talk about in a bit is we don't know who's in charge. FBI should be in charge, but they're not technically. And the original law enforcement team, as you know, the guy at the basketball game, etc., started out a day late and $1 short. And they're being nice about it right now, but in a bit, you'll see how botched it really was and who is in charge.
Cochise County, not Pima County, but what was going on with that earlier so I can run it by the sheriff?
Yeah, so we've spoken with people who are specifically part of the investigation, because I've been asking the question for a week now. Who is in charge?
Who's in
Is the sheriff in
charge?
charge?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't done any press conferences anymore. We haven't seen him in days. Or has the FBI taken over? And the sheriff wouldn't answer the question at the last press conference. But the new item here is we have heard from investigators working the case that even they don't know who's in charge.
And that's your major problem. Again, we'll expand upon that. But how do you have such a high profile case that's gone international and you not know who's in charge? I'd be pissed. All right. Tanya, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. Good to see you, my friend. And that's why we're not watching all this again, Sherry. We're getting to the basics so everybody knows what needs to be seen, what Pima County said, and that suspects are multiple and who I think. And we're getting into linguistics, the new video, and the new demand. That's it. That's all. And then we're doing all looking into the people that I think, because it's boring. Frankly, I'm bored of seeing these 10 people. Same JLR. I love him. He works hard, and I'll hop on there if something happens, but just watching him drive back and forth and whatever, I don't have an attention span for that. So I've got lots more today. Inside job. All right, let's continue so we can get to the exciting stuff.
They can't say whether the sheriff or the FBI is in charge, and they're actually working the investigation.
That's interesting. All right, Brian, you got to go do some reporting. Go ahead and do that. We'll talk to you later. But I wanted to run that by you, Sheriff Daniels. Again, you know the area, you know how investigations work. I'm sure you've worked with federal investigators before. What would you say about how this has been all going and who's running it?
Well, the recipe of success always comes when we work together, state, local, and federal. We've talked about many incidents here on the border directly and criminal investigations. In this case, there is no who's in charge thought because they're working hand in hand. I have heard.
But they're not working hand in hand happily. I want you to know that. All right. That's why I'm here. Awesome. Thank you. I can't. It's like one of those things when people say, I'm bored. You're only bored if you're a boring person. So that being said, I will only be bored if I'm putting boring things out there. All right. Thank you, Lena. I appreciate that. My third day on this channel, and I've learned so much on the case. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to make it like a lesson for the day.
Nothing. We've talked to the FBI. We've done some support assist on this investigation. We talked to the sheriff's office. So we're working with them based on the needs and follow up on those tips that we're getting so much, thousands of them that are going into Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. So it's not who's in charge. It's as long as they're working together.
No, dude, no. You're just saying that to cover your ass, brother. And excuse my language, but no.
The Guthrie family will be successful at the end because we're going to bring justice to this case.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Thank you for watching. I just got super loud. All right, I'm going to show you what, again, we're going through the stuff that you might have seen today. I waited for a press conference today. No press conference happened. However, Pima County Sheriff's Office did make a statement, so we're gonna check that out. And we gotta get to that stuff. Pima County Sheriff's. I was like, what are we gonna learn? What happened? Well, an hour ago, Pima County Sheriff's reposted. I reposted this. FBI Phoenix. Today, the FBI is increasing its reward to 100,000 for information leading to the location of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in the disappearance. Now, this is key that they're raising the reward to 100,000 because the person that wrote the third ransom note has now written back to TMZ saying, why are you guys not taking me seriously? I just want $67,000 or one Bitcoin, right? One share. And TMZ is like, why would you need a share when you could just turn in the information and get a $50,000 reward? Well, of course, they're going to say, well, because it's high profile and my name will be out there and da 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 da. Well, there you go. $100,000. If you know what's up, go to the FBI, go to the Pima County Sheriff's, let them know. Don't put more ransom notes out there, okay? Now, new identifying details about the suspect, and I'm going to say or suspects, in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie have been confirmed after a forensic analysis of the doorbell camera footage by FBI's operational division. The suspect is described as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build. In the video, he's wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack, which I'll show you below. We hope this updated description will help concentrate the public tips we are receiving. Since February 1st, FBI has collected over 13,000 tips from the public related to the case. Every tip is reviewed for credibility, relevance, and information that can be acted upon by law enforcement. Threat intake examiners at the National Threat Operation Center and FBI personnel are supporting a 24-hour command post in which dozens of agents and investigators are assigned to leads and tips to action each shift. Now, media outlets should direct tips to receive to the FBI. Additionally, we do not comment on tips and information we receive, right, regarding ongoing investigations. Continue to submit your information to FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov. Help us bring Nancy home. Now, they're putting out these pictures of the backpack, which everybody's probably seen by now. Again, we got to go through the details and the monotony to get to the theories and the suspects that I believe, along with the linguistics, that when you see the linguistics out loud, you're going to say, damn, I thought that too, but shit, she really did say that. Or shoot, she really didn't say that. Wait, what? Jamie says, Jay, do you think any of the ransom notes are real, or do you think they're all fake? I think one of them might be a real distraction from the people that actually did the kidnapping, so to speak, but I don't think that was the motive. All right, let's keep going. Why can't we see the logo in the Nest video? Exactly. There's so many things that you can't see, and it's crazy. Awesome. Thank you, Sunshine Lady. All right, yeah, exactly. Johnny, I like you a lot. You're to the point kind of guy. All right, so this is what they're saying, guys. They put this out there. We're gonna go back and look at the video. Don't worry. These straps to me don't look like it because the other straps went up and down like this. So I don't know. This is what they're putting out there. I'm not going to take away their credibility, maybe because of the lighting. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this and this is like a colored image of the black and white one. Again, we compared to see two different people, the different height, the different eyes, different textures. And then you look at the way one's zipped up all the way, one's not. Those backpacks don't look like that, and I don't know why. It's bothering me that they put this out there. But hey, who am I to say? Joseph Morgan, 2,000 cops on the job with no results. Our mothers wouldn't stand a chance. That's what I'm saying. I just can't understand. I do not think she's alive, Ali Callie. If she's no longer alive, may she rest in peace and be brought home. I don't think that she's alive. Just my opinion. Yeah, definitely don't look the same. It's like, are they throwing red herrings this big at us? Are they really throwing red herrings like that? Stage kidnapping. All right. So I don't know. That's what they put out. You know, you see it. You've seen what we've put out. They're law enforcement. It is what it is. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of time wasted here. In the beginning, we knew that investigators are also still requesting any videos showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians, or suspicious activity from January 1st to February 2nd near East Skyline Drive in North Campbell, a 2-mile radius link. All right. So they put that out as well. And yeah, it doesn't even say anything. It just looks exactly like what I put. So there we go. That's what they're telling us right now, which isn't a ton, right? It's not a ton. Let me pull this down and share something else with you that I think's kind of important, just because X has had the most up to date that I like to hear, and the people out there. And I agree with it. Illinois, for crying out loud. Here we are again doing things that should have been done by the sheriff on day one. Someone fire that guy. I agree, Illinois. So there you go. Tents going up. People watched paint drying essentially all day. That's what I felt like I was watching, was paint drying. All right. Just remember, folks, it was Pima County Sheriff at the advice of Mark Kelly who ran interference, preventing the FBI from gathering crucial evidence into finding the suspect. We're now day 12. Federal agents appear to be double, triple checking every step the sheriff took and those that he didn't. All right. And I still am not seeing this backpack thing, but you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. That's what they put out. Maybe it's a red herring, like we said in day one. I absolutely believe there's a bunch of red herrings in this situation. Wow, you guys are killing it in chat, Holly. Good to see you, girl. Happy early birthday. Foxy's birthday is on Valentine's Day, which is Saturday. MM Clar, hey Jay, happy birthday, Foxy. Thank you so much. Love you, girl. PGH Deb says, pray for Nancy. So sad. And you can say circus. And when that happens to you with somebody close to the family, it's even worse. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Hey, thank you for the $9.99 super chat, just to tell me I'm a good speaker. I appreciate it. I just speak a lot. That's why. I don't want to believe. It is flying. I don't want to believe it, but I think she's gone to heaven, and so do I. Absolutely. All right, let's keep going. We've got a lot, and I mean a lot today. So I want to make sure I can get everything in with all of my different theories, etc. All right, let's I'm going to read you that FBI thing, but I want to show you another version without it being blocked out and where I stand on the backpack situation and the new footage. All right.
The Ring Neighbors app. It was captured on February 1st, 2026, around 1:52 in the morning, the same morning that Nancy Guthrie went missing. This was also captured not even an hour before Nancy's pacemaker last connected to her residence at 2:38 that morning. This specific incident occurred about 5 miles south of Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona, and the FBI has been notified of it, but it's drawing up a lot of questions. As you can see in this footage right here, the individual is bald. He doesn't have any facial hair. He's not wearing gloves, nor is he wearing a ski mask, but he does have a backpack, 2 of them. And based on the current screenshots that we have from Nancy's Nest doorbell camera, the person that was at her door with this mask on and with these gloves on had a backpack, but didn't have a backpack when they first.
Now, I've seen these pictures without it being blurred, and I've also seen the pictures where people put AI on them to try to clear the face up. I assure you, it does no good. All right, the bald guy in the video has been cleared, is what NBC is saying. And breaking news, thank you, my girl Tiff. Tiff is saying, NBC is saying law enforcement stated this guy in the video has been cleared. But again, I'm going to tell you right now, what I'm saying is I don't think that this had anything to do with it, which is what we're getting to. So thank you, Tiff, for letting me know. If that's the case, that's already what I thought. Let's finish this video and you'll see what I mean.
Approached the door. At least in some of the screenshots, it didn't appear that they had a backpack on. It looks like this person right here was attempting to reach their hand over the other side.
This looks like Jason. Did anyone watch Friday the 13th part 1 where he never had a mask and he just put a bag over his head and he walked around with the bag over his head and a machete? That's what that looks like. This looks like Friday the 13th part 1, Jason Voorhees before he got his damn hockey mask. It's ridiculous. You can tell that someone's wearing double padding, triple or double gloves, whatever. They're trying to hide it. Maybe there's some hair in that one, but it's still creepy nonetheless.
Of this person's fence in order to unlock it and gain entry into their backyard, but was unable to do so for whatever reason and ended up just leaving. So while these two people probably aren't the same individual, there has been a lot of discussion about whether there could be more than one person involved in Nancy's disappearance. Even a retired FBI agent who worked with the FBI for 22 years said that he believes that more than one person is involved in all of this, as I shared yesterday. So is it possible that these two individuals could be affiliated with one another, or is this just all a coincidence? Regardless, we can see a pretty good shot of this person's face. Someone in Tucson, Arizona must know who this is or think they know who this is. Call that into the FBI. The number will be below, so that way they can investigate this person to determine if this could be connected to Nancy's case. At this point, it seems like law enforcement is at a bit of a standstill, so maybe this could be something that breaks the case wide open. Who knows? What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. This footage right here was posted to the Ring Neighbors app. It was captured.
All right, now my thought is the same as Matt Thibodeau, that he has nothing to do with it, but now we can pull that down and show you that he has been cleared. This guy doesn't have anything to do with it. Let's take a look now as it comes in. AZ, that's Arizona Intel, 35 minutes ago, says the man seen in the video below has been cleared of being involved in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie by investigators, according to two officials who have briefed on the matter of NBC. Let's hear what they say. Or maybe they're not saying anything, but let's just take a look at the video. But you see there, I hope I have it on the screen properly. It literally says the man seen in the video below has been cleared by two officials in the Nancy Guthrie case, not involved. All right. So that's that. Let's take a look here and just quickly, but they're saying he's not involved. So there's another piece of evidence that means nothing. Just another distraction. I guess they have to follow all the leads. I don't know why they released this information before. I'm not sure about any of this, but there you go. I mean, this is not him, is what they're saying. So if you were thinking that it was him, or you were thinking that it was not him, you can say, oh, good, because I didn't think it was him anyway, right? He didn't move a lot. He didn't move like that. Nothing about that screamed that was him, right? So let's continue. I'm going to tell you about the FBI looking, and then we're going to get straight into who I think it is. And yes, this case to me seems botched AF. I agree. The area needs people with guard dogs and all of that. It's 4:45 Pacific Standard Time and 7:45 Eastern. All right, let's keep going. I've got a lot for you, and I want to make sure I'm able to get through it. Unless there's some real big breaking news, you guys won't see me in typical format on here. All right, because I'm going to be gone. All right, so FBI looking at multiple persons of interest in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Kash Patel. All right. Let's pause this. It is an FBI looking at multiple persons of interest in the search for Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. FBI Director Kash Patel said hours after releasing multiple surveillance stills and videos of an armed suspect outside of her house without polluting the investigation, he says, we'll say we have made substantial progress in the last 36 to 48 hours. Thanks to the technical capabilities of FBI and our partnerships, I do believe we're looking at people, as we say, are persons of interest. Let's listen to him say that, because I've been dying for them to just stop saying person of interest or one suspect and not use plural.
Press conference. It was a joke. Doing. You tell the media, listen, we're doing an investigation. When we find out something that's going on, we'll let you know. But no, everybody wants to be a TV star today, and that's problematic. I'm not happy how it's turning out, and I think every day that goes by, it becomes a problem for that family, because you can have all the hope in the world, but it starts to diminish as days go along. If you know anything about kidnapping, the situation is there would have been negotiations done probably within 24 hours of the kidnapping to start negotiating for what you can afford to pay, how you're going to pay it, how are you going to keep the law enforcement out of it. Although you always have a backdoor situation to law enforcement for protection, but at least law enforcement will work with the family to give the feeling that they're willing to pay and will pay if the person's alive. This is becoming problematic, and I honestly feel, and I've worked these cases in the past.
And you see how they say experts point to early stumbles in the probe. This is just one of many where they say this, right? And the fact that they can't tell us who's involved in the investigation is also a problem.
Days go by, it's not going to be a good outcome. It had to have been pre-planned, in my opinion. The person is well camouflaged, well dressed,
the people,
with a backpack, head coverage. You can see the eyes a little bit. Study. The other situation, it's a very rural area. This wasn't, I'm picking that house. They went to that house because they knew what was in that house. They knew the setup, and it was picked for a purpose. It's going to have to be a strong criminal investigation to try to figure out who's behind all this. But I think the situation is getting very slim that you're going to find this 82-year-old woman alive under the set of circumstances that have been laid out there. If I'm the kidnapper, yeah, you got to disable the cameras, but there's footage that's already been taken. It does go to the cloud. And more importantly, if you come into my property, not only is the Ring cameras working, but I'm going to get an alarm in my house that tells me that somebody's on my property. So the situation is you have to know how many people are in that house if you're the kidnapper. Are you prepared for one person, old?
Again, they've said this since the beginning that we believe it's people close to them. And then you have to ask yourself, if it's somebody close, what's the motive? Now, the clear motive would be money, right? Hello, Cat H. Good to see you. All right. The clear motive is money, but how? I seriously thought he was barefooted. What's up, Retha? Good to see you. All right, let's continue this so we can get to it, because you guys are going to see what's next. We're going to show the person with a cut on their lip that doesn't grow right. They got a scar. It doesn't grow right. So when you look at it close and you see the mustache, very identifying, very telling.
2 years old being by yourself, or do you suspect there's other people in that house? Do they have weapons? You're just going to go up to the Ring camera and pull it off the wall, making that kind of noise, not knowing who's on the other side of that door? Something's not right with this case. And that's why I suspect that you have to look at the possibility that there's a crime involved here, that it was not a kidnapping, but it was a crime that went wrong.
See?
Crimes go wrong. The victim is in the house.
I couldn't have said that better. So here it is. A crime went wrong is what I think it is. All right. I don't think it's a kidnapping. I think it is now, allegedly, but it's a crime gone wrong. Thank you for those words. Member for 3 months. Much love on the daily, Jay. What's up, Chantel? Canadian Chantel. Carly's in Canada. All right, let's finish this so we can get to the juicy stuff. This is pretty juicy.
Or they're wounded and there was a robbery, something would happen, but typically the body doesn't disappear. I've been an investigator for over 40 years. I worked with CBS 48 hours. I've done cases internationally in South America, throughout Europe. So I've been involved in some of these, and I know how difficult it is for the family. And I also know that anytime you get into these type of situations, there's always a possibility that it's not going to come out good. But if you do it right, and law enforcement works with you to get it done right, there's always the possibility
Yeah.
that you can get that person back alive and safe and back with their family.
But at this point, guys, we obviously don't think that she's with us any longer. We think it's a bestie. We think it's a crime gone wrong that ultimately led to this, with several other people interjecting themselves into this to earn a buck, in my opinion. And again, hopefully we find out soon. Yeah, started as a kidnapping for ransom, gone bad. Right, but missing person, she's still missing, 84 years old. Female, 5'5", 150 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes, last seen January 31st at her residence near East Skyline. I'm surprised they don't put last seen with Tommaso and family, but hey, what do we know? All right, let's continue. It should be done any second.
I pray that that's the case. I pray that I'm so wrong and that
Me
this
too.
woman comes back to be with a family. But we cannot allow this to continue the way it's going. They've got to get the tight ship. And now with the photos, maybe we can get something going and come to a conclusion on this matter.
All right, so that was a good one. Ooh, it's a duck. What's up? All right, so FBI is looking at multiple persons of interest in the search for Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. FBI Director Kash Patel said hours after releasing multiple surveillance stills and videos of an armed suspect outside the house without polluting the investigation, they will say they've made substantial progress in the last 36 to 48 hours, which, by the way, they should have done that most crucial time, 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, the first 48, right? That show, thanks to the technical capabilities of the FBI, not local law enforcement, and our partnerships. I do believe, he didn't say that, I added that. We're looking at people who, as we say, are persons of interest, Patel told Fox, Sean Hannity, on Tuesday night. Now, as you know, within any investigation, you're a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved. Culprit or culprits involved. And at that stage, and that's the stage we're at right now, right? We're able to exploit information pursuant to the private sector partner engagements that showed us that there may be persons of interest in and around the area related to this event. Patel said, first and foremost, our priority is to find Nancy Guthrie. And of course, right behind that is to find anyone and any others involved in the kidnapping case to make sure they're brought to justice, he said. And that's what we're doing, protecting the integrity of the investigation. But we're also being very public, which I think that they're being very public because they don't have a choice. The kidnappers decided to go to the news media instead of directly to the family. Now, Patel was speaking after authorities in Arizona detained the individual in Rio Rico, Arizona, right? And then they let him go. So we saw Carlos. He's got his 15 minutes of fame, released without charge. And now here we are looking at who we think these people of interest are. And real quick, before we do who the people of interest, I've of course got to show you straight from Instagram. I'm going to show you straight from Instagram so we don't have to go through all the BS. You guys should mark your Instagram because Savannah Guthrie is making all of her pleas and everything on her own Instagram account that has 1.8 million followers. And then the news stations are just taking that, chopping up the video and adding stuff into it. We can just see it right here. Okay. And then the new note. And then I'm going to show you a good portion of the band members that one has disappeared, the pictures, the lips, and who I think are the people of interest. Now, this is directly from Savannah Guthrie, and it's home video footage. It looks like when they're little with their mom. Heartfelt. Sorry. We'll just play it so you can see it. That's it, huh? That's all it is. Or did I move off of it? I'll turn the volume down. Let me stay on the screen. I think that's all it is she's literally just putting, if there's a kidnapper or kidnappers, or even if it's her sister, right? There's her sister right there on the left, looking awkward to me, by the way, still looking awkward. So same thing. That's what she posted. We'll never give up. We love you so much. Beautiful. Sending love and lifting. So there's a whole news article out of this. And that's what she showed today, right? Go directly to her page, Instagram/Savannah Guthrie. Right? That's a great picture there. That's her brother. That's Savannah. And that's her awkward looking sister that we're going to look at her linguistics so you can see what she actually did say and didn't say. All right. So good one, Savannah. We're all here behind you. We want to bring your mother, Nancy Guthrie, home bad. My heart goes out to the Guthrie family, Savannah in particularly. And bring Nancy home. I don't even want to imagine that if that were to happen to my mom. I don't know what I'd do. I would be out canvassing the areas and they'd be kicking me out of this. Can't be in here, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I don't want to imagine it. So let's continue. Let's quickly hear about the ransom note that was received again. And then we'll continue. Thank you so much. This part is so important. Someone's mom and Grammy is missing. Of course, Jules Tacali. It's all important. I just don't want to play the same stuff that you guys have been watching regurgitated all day. I want to get out information that I feel is important and pertinent to this investigation, in my opinion, and from my perspective. So it's all important. But we've got, 30 different stations and 50 different YouTubers covering it in different ways. And this is my perspective on it. All right. So let's listen in. This is a 2-minute clip about them getting another ransom letter from the same people yesterday saying, hey, why aren't you responding to me?
TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper.
Now, remember, the second email is a follow-up to the third technical ransom note that they've received. Thank you so much, Jules Tacali, too. I appreciate you. Nope, I sent them packing in Norway. All the information is a dog chasing its tail or watching paint dry. Yeah, it's all good. We don't mind the trolls. We got plenty of mods in chat. All right. Not worried. You guys get rid of the trolls.
We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin.
Wow.
We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning, just after 8 a.m. Pacific time, he sent us this other email complaining that he is not being taken seriously. He says that he wants the Bitcoin, which is worth around $67,000, for several reasons. Number one,
now, guys, I do believe that that's why. I think it's directly connected to this situation, why they decided to up the reward, because they don't want to have things like this. And there's no point in being cheap. We know that Savannah Guthrie is worth $40 million and possibly more. James says, check Fox, important update. The sheriff found a glove from inside the house to a private lab. Yeah, I did hear that, James. And if somebody wants to send me an email to that, that'll be great. I will definitely get to it. So James, instead of me fumbling around, you just told us FBI found a second glove, which we knew about yesterday. They just didn't confirm it. Now you're telling us they found a glove from the inside the house to a private lab without telling the FBI. Oh, so what you're telling me is what I was just about to pull up for you as well. So I also just got a tip that says a federal source has just confirmed, reporting from Reuters to me. Now, this is Michael Ruiz, and he says what you're saying right here. He says that a sheriff's glove was sent Sheriff Nano sent a glove recovered from inside the home to a private lab. So what you're telling me is what we're looking at. Arizona sheriff blocks FBI from key evidence in the Guthrie case, U.S. law enforcement officials say. And guys, that's what I've been saying. I've been telling you that they are not working hand in hand like you think. They're not happy about it, okay? And like yesterday, I said they're not holding hands and skipping together, doing their job. They're not happy. For them to block information one way or the other is not good. All right. So thank you, James. I appreciate that. It's on my radar for sure. Appreciate you. All right. But anybody has anything to email me, feel free to. We've absolutely got a packed day today.
He says by coming forward, he will become as he puts it, a national rat. He also says, and this is a quote, he doesn't want to be, quote, incriminated like that guy Carlos. Remember, Carlos is the delivery man who was taken into custody a couple of days ago. Briefly, he was detained.
Now, right after this yesterday, then we hear this morning, possibly last night, it's up to 100,000. So these people can just get out of. They should just come out if they have something. Go get your $100,000 reward. Stop putting fake information. That guy should be arrested. Whoever's sending the second email now with these fake ransoms, asking for 67,000 in Bitcoin, really should be arrested.
And then released. He says that he fears retaliation if he comes forward, and that he needs the Bitcoin because he's going to have to lay low after coming forward. And then he talks about a difference between yesterday and today. And we are not going to get specific about what he's talking about. It is chilling what he is insinuating here.
And again, we don't get to see the notes. They're sending them directly to TMZ for these particular ones, and then he's forwarding it on to probably the FBI. But the problem is, and I'm seeing it from all over. I mean, Carly just sent me one. James came up here. Brian Enton just posted, all the same. Pima County Sheriff is blocking FBI access to key evidence in the investigation of Nancy Guthrie. And as soon as we pop this down, I'll show you real quick that they sent a glove to FBI's lab in Virginia, according to the source, and FBI is going to likely need to retest the items themselves, just wasting time. All right. That should not happen. If they were working together happily or even just properly with respect, this wouldn't be happening. They're not respecting each other one way or the other.
But we have told law enforcement we're not going to get specific about that. But he makes it very clear here that this will be his second and last attempt. We have checked the Bitcoin address that he sent us. By the way, the one from yesterday and today, they are the same. And we checked the Bitcoin address just before I'm shooting this and talking to you. And again, there is nothing in that Bitcoin account, at least right now.
That poor man's probably not slept at all, man. This is actually where we're going next with this one. So a perfect freaking timing. Did I get there? You know what? We're just going to get into this. This is perfect timing. Let's go. This is my thoughts. I've been saying it from the beginning. Buckle up, buckle in. These are the people that I think need to be focused on, that they probably are focusing on. But let's go.
Breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. A detained suspect walks free without charges, but fresh local reports point to intensified police scrutiny on family connections, including a...
All right, now you guys are going to see so many things from the images that we pulled from the other. Yeah, there's Tommaso. You're going to see Tommaso and the band members, and you're going to hear about how they're laying low. Some of them they can't find. You're going to see the cut on the lip, etc. All right, Nina, thank you so much for the super sticker. I don't know if I missed anybody's, but if I did, I promise to come back to you. Don't forget to get your memberships, guys, because we're giving away some pretty big things. If you're new to the channel here, well, then you just don't know what the things that we give away are, because it's crazy. All right. We give the best things away, best merch, best prizes, best gift boxes, etc. All right, Mr. Potato Head.
Missing bandmate and heightened activity at related homes. So I'm Joseph Morris, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get straight into this major update. Authorities pulled over 36-year-old Carlos Alberto Palazuelos Jr. in Rio Rico, Arizona, near the Mexican border, linking him to the Bitcoin wallet in those $6 million ransom notes. But after a quick search of his girlfriend's mother's home and seizing electronics.
Also, beside that, be aware of clickbait and AI, because a lot of people are emailing me right now and asking me, Jay, is this real? Have you seen this? And as soon as I look at it, I'm like, first of all, it's clickbait AF. And second of all, yeah, there's a bunch of AI incorporated into it, which makes things almost impossible to investigate. You can't investigate that. All right. Hello, everyone. Yeah, people are getting profiled. That's what they're doing with that 10. All right.
Carlos was released early the next morning without any charges. His mother-in-law told reporters he's innocent, and Carlos himself said he had no idea about the kidnapping.
And supposedly I was at her house, but like I said, I work delivering packages to GLS. I might have delivered a package to her house.
But didn't kidnap anybody?
No.
So what's going through your head when they're telling you kidnapped somebody?
Yeah, bro.
And I didn't show you guys this yesterday because I'm like, yeah, they let this guy go. This is the guy, Carlos, that they arrested. He asked that they kidnapped. He's like, bro, laughing. Okay. So this just incorporated into a little bit. He didn't even really show his face, most of it. He was turned around. So again, they can keep that in their back pocket.
Bro, I'm facing life. I'm gonna lose everything.
But now the investigation seems to be zeroing in closer to home. Reports are swirling about Nancy's son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, who was the last to see her alive when he dropped her off after dinner on January 31st. Multiple sources on X, including local residents, say Tommaso hasn't been spotted in over a week, so he is hiding right now. And get this, his band's Facebook page was completely wiped clean just the day after Nancy vanished on February 1st. The band...
I mean, look at those pictures. They're a long time ago, but they took them down. Tommaso's staying out of everything, right? We saw him trying to hide his facial features and put his head down, and we also saw Annie as well. All right. I'm glad y'all are buckled up. It's cold outside. Get yourself a blanket, a hoodie, something to drink. Let's go.
Called Early Black, a group known for their dreamy, atmospheric rock style that they started back in 2007, had its online presence erased, sparking all kinds of questions. Why scrub it so quickly? Could it be hiding something more sinister? Shifting to an even stranger angle,
now remember, one of these bandmates / friends was the person to text Annie and Tommaso directly saying, where's the Bitcoin? We're getting sick of this. All right. Just keep that in mind while we're watching this.
Local name Katarina Quinn posted that her best friend's sister lives next door to one of Tommaso's bandmates, believed to be Dominic Evans. She says police have been at that house all.
And there's DE, Dominic Evans. All right. This was yesterday. And it says 13 minutes ago yesterday. And I love this kind of information. DE.
All day, and things are getting more intense. Dominic has reportedly been missing for over a week as well, alongside Tommaso, and he has a criminal history in Arizona with past arrests for burglary, robbery, embezzlement, and DUI. Online sleuths are buzzing about the band's old bio on Reverb Nation, which includes the eerie line, life, love, love, murder.
Now, also, we looked at, as soon as the arrest came, we looked at that person's background, and that's exactly what it said. All these people that are surrounded have fraud charges, robbery type of things, same thing that's swirling here. So again, I think it was their crime gone wrong. All right, but all this makes sense. Okay, let's continue. I'm trying to do my best to follow the actual leads that I'm getting versus conversation. All right, there we go. A lot of things were deleted. Now we can kind of see this. And again, of course, we're going to look at this when we're looking at the David case, David and Celeste. We see him fascinated with wanting to kill someone and the blood and then we find out that potentially Celeste was dismembered, right? So there you go.
In a kidnapping case like this, that kind of detail just fuels the speculation. Is it coincidence or something more? And of course, sleuths are saying that the guy in the footage looks eerily similar to the...
And I'll just pause on that for a second so that you can see that, all right? Again, we don't, this is in my opinion. In the next video, I'm going to show you, we're actually talking about the footage and proving that multiple assailant theory for you. And what one of them did, the other one went around the back. I just really want you to understand what my position in this case is if you don't already. All right. And again, if I come back next week and I'm wrong, I'll say, boy, we sleuthed hard and we got it wrong. I'm glad they got it. Bring Nancy Guthrie home. FBI and sheriff need to quit the case and hand it over to internet. They've had it pegged. I know. You're telling me forevermore. All right. I just wanted to pause on that so you can see it. And again, this guy's the one with the lip, the scar that someone was pointing out.
Bandmate, right down to the scar on his upper lip that appears to prevent his mustache from growing in fully.
That's very telling, okay? Just in my opinion.
Some are speculating if Tommaso maybe shaved his mustache recently based on comparisons of old photos and the grainy doorbell footage. So as you can see, people are still wondering if it's Tommaso in the footage or the bandmate because no one knows for sure. I mean, it could be a total stranger.
Now, I agree, Kalisa. I agree. If these people aren't responsible, I had nothing to do with it. I do feel bad for them. I hope I don't get... Wait, I did get caught in a situation like that. So, yeah, these are the days of social media. But, yeah, I hope not, right? Let's keep going. He has a funny upper lip. I mean, we have compassion for all victims, and typically a victim is anybody that is associated with the crime around whatever happened to the individual victim. So moms, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody that's affected is a victim, and Annie is a victim if she's not involved. So yes, I agree. And we want to give grace if we want grace, but I'm focused on this because I've been honed on it the whole time, and I'm not going to back down from my theory. I'm just going to put my evidence that I find out there and let you decide.
At this point, in early January, an elderly man reported spotting a trespasser at his Tucson home less than 10 minutes from 84-year-old Nancy's house, as TMZ reported. The dude was dressed up like a delivery man, wearing a reflective safety vest, and was caught on camera after triggering a motion sensor and floodlight. And people seem to think he's wearing the same pants and shoes as the perp in Nancy Guthrie's Ring doorbell camera footage. FBI Director Kash Patel emphasized they're pursuing local persons.
Yeah, I mean, they're pursuing all leads, and you got to remember, they're asking everybody for footage, including dash cam footage, okay, including any kind of footage, any kind of camera, any kind of video, any kind of picture, any kind of anything that happened surrounding that time frame is getting flooded, including in the 13,000, probably more by now, tips that are coming in. All right.
Of interest, saying the priority is finding Nancy and holding those involved accountable. But what do you guys think? Is it a stranger or someone close to the family? The video from 1:47 a.m. on February 1st shows a masked figure with possible facial hair ripping off the camera while wearing black latex gloves and waving ripped out flowers at the lens. Analysts still debate if it shows one person or two, given differences in posture and movement.
See, and I haven't even looked at any of those analysts yet. I haven't showed it here. It was just all the guilty of crime. We've got the mods working on it. Carly, Tiff, especially those are the two, but all of them, Synth, is the one that sent me this today. We've got all of us looking. Even Mama Pearl is sending me stuff, all right? Everybody, Holly, we're all scouring the internet to find it. So I haven't even got to what experts say. I was waiting for FBI to finally say that they have persons or people of interest and that they think that it's more than one person. And finally, they're saying that. All right.
And oddly, the backpack the figure was carrying seems to vanish in one of the frames. And adding to the intrigue, users on X and commentator Nancy Grace have pointed out what appears to be a bite light in the suspect's mouth, a small hands-free LED flashlight designed to be held between your teeth with a soft grip, letting you light up a work area while keeping both hands free. It's often used by mechanics crawling under dashboards or HVAC and plumbing workers in tight spots. Some are saying this could be a clue in the suspect's profession. Now let's connect this to the ongoing search efforts. As the case hits its 10th day, investigators ramped up by asking for security footage specifically from around Annie and Tommaso's home, Nancy's daughter and son-in-law, from 9:30 p.m. on January 31st to 11:30 a.m. the next day. That covers the exact window that Tommaso supposedly dropped Nancy off at 9:48 p.m. Her garage door closed at 9:50 p.m.
And now remember, we're getting little bits and pieces of this timeline that have changed a bit, or things have been added or not put in there at all, which I think are important. Okay. So keep that in mind. 5:32 p.m. She goes to the family's home. They don't really tell us. I'm assuming the family's home is the new house of Annie and Tommaso. Then 9:48, and it's oddly specific here that he drops her off at 9:48 in the garage, and then 2 minutes later it closes. And why did he put her through the garage? Why didn't she go to the front door? I mean, I have a lot of questions, obviously. And then 1:47 a.m. doorbell disconnects. 2:12 a.m. software detects person on camera, which we see. They say no available, but we see it now. Then 2:28, the pacemaker app shows disconnect from the phone. Family checks on Nancy. I'm glad they put that instead of she didn't show up at church, because that's confusing. And then just a few minutes later, they call 911 and the patrols arrive. All right. But there's a lot.
Family checked on her around 11:10.
Oh, there's a lot of things that I think are not in there that they missed, and I don't like it. And again, I think it's just because it's botched. All right, let's continue.
But behind, the urgency is clear. SWAT teams, a bomb squad, and the FBI's hostage rescue team were all over Tucson, searching door to door, junkyards, bushes, and even a dry riverbed next to Annie and Tommaso's home. It raises questions about what might have happened right in their neighborhood. Adding to the odd layers, before the abduction, an investigator from Adult Protective Services left a card at Nancy's door. Their job is checking on exploitation or neglect of vulnerable adults like Nancy. So what prompted the Adult Protective Services to check on Nancy before she disappeared? That definitely raises some red flags. It's still unexplained.
And also, I mean, I'm glad you're saying that, Kung Fu Panda, because another thing is, why didn't he help her out? Why aren't we hearing that Tommaso got out of the car and walked her? And doesn't she have a walker because she can't walk more than 50 yards? I mean, I'm confused. What's up, Loretta? Good to see you. Loretta's using Frank's account with his permission. I just started watching. Well, welcome Frank and Loretta for being here. All right. So, I mean, yeah, thank you for saying that. Why is there a 2-minute gap? Why didn't he walk her in, help her? Why didn't he just go through the regular front door? Why not just take her through the front door? I mean, I'm just not. There's things that make no sense, but also they don't give us any detail, which is what typically happens when a crime occurs. People forget everything they did right before, during, and then a little bit afterwards, which is what I feel like we're getting now.
But it does point toward possible issues within the family, maybe even hints of mistreatment of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. So consider this. On the night she disappeared.
All right, so there they are, guys. Remember, this is not the same image that I showed you yesterday where he was covering his face like this. He didn't want us to see his lips, his mouth, his nothing. And I also theorized that he shaved his beard down or completely shaved it. Now you got Annie here. Again, I don't know why she's covering her face. She did that yesterday in yesterday's video as well, except she put her head all the way down, and so did he. So, I mean, why? I understand. I mean, I understand not wanting to be on camera, but your mom is missing. You were with her last and you're hiding. Why aren't you out searching? Right after that, we're going to get into her linguistics and what she said and what she didn't say. All right. Now, this is a rare spotting because they have been hiding out.
Annie and Tommaso made Nancy Uber to their home for dinner instead.
See, that's weird too. That whole Ubering situation. Why wouldn't they just go pick her up? Why would you make I wouldn't even do that to my mom. I would not do that to my mom. I would not say Uber over. She'd be like, what are you talking about, Jen? You gotta help me. Why would you put an 84-year-old woman that's immobile? Again, I feel like part of the motive as well could be they're just freaking tired of it. They're the only ones living close to her. They probably got some jealousy with Savannah. This is all my speculation. Savannah's the rich one. Savannah's got $40 million she's worth, and she probably makes millions a year. Why isn't she paying for home care? Why isn't someone with her full time? Whoa. Why? And I'm just saying what I think they might be feeling. Like the burden's on them. They just bought a house 10 minutes away from her for $650,000, speculating that they haven't even made a payment. They haven't lived there long. The neighbors don't know them. Just a thought or thoughts
of driving to pick her up themselves. And Tommaso, the last person to see her, said he watched from his car as she went into the garage. But Nancy is fairly immobile. So wouldn't it make more sense for him to help her inside the house? So why make your elderly mother Uber over in the first place? The details feel off. And since she supposedly entered through the garage and not the front door where the Ring doorbell camera would have captured her, it makes you wonder if Nancy ever made it back to her home at all, or if something happened at Annie's place that kept her from leaving. That could explain why the FBI is searching so intensely around Annie and Tommaso's home. But here's another twist from X-users. Many believe they can see in the footage that the front door was jammed open, and Nancy's door had a security gate on it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Uber proof she was alive, but she was only alive. I mean, it's not just Uber that proves she's alive. She was over at having a family dinner. We don't know who else was there. So we know she was obviously alive with the Uber because the Uber took her there. And I'm sure that they have already got the statement by the Uber driver. Tommaso has a head that looks like the shape of one of the people, right? The rich shouldn't have to pay everything. I get, and that's Krista. I'm telling you exactly what they're feeling. This is not my thought. And I've been told this before too, right? I have siblings. I have people that are close to me. They have no idea what my finances are whatsoever, but they think because I live in Silicon Valley and I own a home and whatever my other stuff that I have, that I just have all this money and I should be helping X, Y, and Z. So I don't have anything near $40 million, but I can't imagine what Annie and maybe even other people feel for her that, yeah. So you're right, Krista. That's totally untrue that just because you have money, you need to pay for stuff. Because when you do have money, you have to pay for stuff. You have more houses, more cars, more vacations, more kids, more things, which make more bills, right? Doesn't mean you're running around throwing cash in the air, helping everybody. All right. All right, let's continue to Annie's house. Right. Yeah, it was to Annie's house. Yeah, we knew that. Though I figured we knew that. I thought we knew that. I didn't know that was a question, but there you go.
So how were the perps able to enter the home so easily without forcing it? And it appeared that the person who entered the patio door seemed to know there was a Ring camera there because he appeared to duck his head when approaching it. This has led a lot of people to think this was an inside job or possibly even a staged kidnapping, especially with these family oddities piling up. But with Carlos cleared for now, speculation online is rife. Some even wonder if this was a planned burglary or fake kidnapping that went wrong, tying back to Tommaso and Dominic's absences.
And again, I just want to show you the pictures again because they're disappearing on social media, and I want you to see the features. And again, they weren't in a band together just last week. The band was previous, so these pictures could be years old. Again, he looked similar to this the other day, and this one looks a bit older because he's graying versus the other pictures. But just keep that in mind for those that are saying they look nothing like that. It was years ago in some of the photos. Now the photos are disappearing, and so are the people.
Authorities insist the family is cooperating and no one in the Guthrie circle is a suspect, but these details keep the questions coming. Reporter Ashley Banfield with insider knowledge said from the get-go that the son-in-law was a prime suspect as she had insider knowledge from a source in law enforcement. In my opinion, the release of Carlos shifts the focus, but these reports about Tommaso and Dominic's disappearances, the deleted band page, and police swarming a bandmate's home feel like the real meat of this update. It's bizarre how the band's dark bio and Dominic's criminal past align with the timing, though it could all just be one major coincidence. Could Dominic have been hired to execute this crime, given his history with burglary and robbery? The specific footage request around Annie and Tommaso's place suggests investigators are double-checking the family's timeline, which makes sense in a case with blood trails, a disconnected pacemaker, and those unexplained family dynamics like the Uber ride and garage entry.
And right, we haven't heard anything about, well, mom's really independent. Mom doesn't like us to go pick her up and fuss over her. She insisted. But no, we're not getting that because they're not talking. The people closest to the case that are the family and that were last seen with her are not saying a thing. All right. And maybe it's because Ashley Banfield called them out on day one and then it exploded on media and social media. But we don't know. Again, this is all speculation because law enforcement doesn't even know what they're doing between themselves. I'll show you that right after this.
Especially tied to the Adult Protective Services card, which might mean Nancy was reporting this neglect by Annie and Tommaso before her disappearance, though that's unconfirmed. Also, unconfirmed rumors swirling on X and social media claim Tommaso had significant gambling debts, possibly even millions owed to a Mexican casino.
And that's what I was referring to as well. We talked about, and some of us forget that. I told you that there were rumors of him having gambling debt and that they haven't even paid anything on their house yet. So there's another motive. All right. Again, we know that money is the motive, no matter which way you cut it. But was it meant to be a kidnapping? I don't think so. I think it's a botched crime.
Which could have made him desperate for money from Savannah's $50 million fortune and led him to hire a friend like Dominic to pull this off. But these are just viral speculations without official backing. Nancy's need for daily meds adds heartbreaking pressure. After 10 days, every lead matters. So I hope these angles are seriously considered, leading to a breakthrough soon. The family deserves answers, and Nancy needs to be brought home safe. Authorities need to keep pushing and leave no stone unturned. I'm praying that they find Nancy alive. If you enjoyed this video, please.
And we do. Go check out my description. This guy has a lot of good theories and things. Joseph Morris. Sometimes they're off, sometimes they're not. But there's also a lot of other people that are ex-FBI or reporters that feel the same way about what he's saying. I just didn't want to go through the regular media source because, well, you guys probably are tired of watching that damn swirling thing all day saying the same thing 10 different ways. So let me just show you real quick what everyone was sending me before. And this is Michael Ruiz reporting on it, but also Brian Enton said the same damn thing. They're all saying the same thing about Sheriff Nanos sending a glove recovered from inside the home to a private lab in Florida rather than the FBI's lab in Virginia, according to the source. Feds will likely need to retest the gloves themselves or whatever evidence they have, he says, wasting time. All right. And again, federal sources just confirmed this reporting from Reuters to me. Arizona sheriff blocks FBI from key evidence in the Guthrie case. All right. So, I mean, there's a lot. This guy's been reporting on it since the beginning. just like Enton and Coffindoffer and all the others. All right. Show how the infrared on the camera. Again, I don't see what they're seeing, but maybe, I mean, maybe because the logo's not there, we're getting thrown off, but it's also so smooth. A lot of people in the Bay Area wear backpacks like this and they don't have all this stuff in the front. And that's what this reminds me of. I do not see an external pocket right here or any of even the straps. The straps have like a line down them. I don't see that. This is like one of the hipster backpackers or backpackers that people use that are either hiking or they travel by foot or bike. And it doesn't have an external pocket on purpose so that when you're walking and traveling around people can't just like pickpocket you or get themselves in. It's just like a straight backpack and you have to unzip the outer part to get inside, and then all the pockets are on the inside. Again, it's for safety purposes. Jay, the club they recovered has bumps on the outside. It's a different consistency. Oh, the glove? Okay. All right, cool. Cool. And you guys feel free to email guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. If you see some breaking news, you're certainly welcome to throw it in chat. But if you want me to see it or pull it up, then email me. The Jab says, if I was a gambler, I'd put my cash on the son-in-law. Pun intended. But bum. All right. So we know what's come out today. We've got a glove. Second glove's now confirmed. Law enforcement's not working well together, and we need new updates. And yes, someone was talking earlier about the physical description. So let me just say it again. They're describing the suspect as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build in the video. He's wearing a backpack, 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. All right, reward increased to $100,000 now. All right, so we're going to go to the footage that proves multiple assailants in the theory, and then directly after we are going to watch the linguistics by Annie. Now, in the video I'm going to show you first is going to wrap up my theory of more than two or more individuals and how I think they went around the house or did this. And then I'm going to incorporate Annie into the linguistics by seeing what she's saying and what she's not saying, how she's it's like she's trying to document that she's her daughter and she's only human. Humans do make mistakes. So we'll listen to that after, but I really want to double down on the multiple people theory that I've had since the beginning that they haven't been saying. I know it doesn't look like that. It doesn't. You should post this on the Facebook page too, my friend. All right, guys, don't forget, it's free to hit the like button. It costs nothing at all. All right. Yes, I do, Kalisa. I think the kidnapper had several layers of gloves as well. Teresa, good to see you, my friend. Okay, it's free to hit that like button, but you know what else? A membership, our starting memberships are $2.99 a month, and you get so much more than $2.99 a month. And if you want a chance to win memberships, or we're giving away Valentine's custom cookies, Foxy Box, and memberships today, get yourself a membership because if you are drawn, we're going to do a drawing at the end, like a spinning wheel that picks up whoever hits and your comments, and you'll win. So, but if you're not a Crime Crew member official, then we have to move on. All right, let's continue. Let's show you why I think and how I think this has, and maybe again, it's just a theory. It's not the same stuff all day, regurgitated, and they are doing that. There are a ton of people on Fox News and local news that are getting expert body language, expert this, expert that are talking about this video all day long. And I don't want to hear it, frankly, anymore. I want to hear it from this guy, this channel, and what he's saying. All right, then we're going to switch to Annie.
I don't know if you guys felt the same way when you guys first saw the video footage of the guy on Nancy's front porch. The first thing that came to my mind is I just want to know what the mastermind, which is definitely not this guy. Okay, that is not the mastermind behind this whole thing. Okay, The mastermind must be sweating buckets right now, seeing this footage, okay? Cursing the day that he designated this crotch holster guy here as the front doorman. And our working theory has changed just a tad just by seeing this guy's mannerisms and how long he is actually lingering there on the front porch. When he first walks up, okay, there is a flash, and I'm pretty convinced that he has a small light, you know, either pinched between his teeth or his lips. Well, he'll use it again when he grabs.
Yeah, we see that. You could see it when he puts his head down, the light goes away, right? Someone was talking about lights back there earlier, and I was trying to connect the dots. What are we talking about? But now we know, I think.
The shrubs, okay, and we'll point it out. Some people says that maybe it's just a infrared thing bouncing off maybe his gold tooth or something like that, but I think it's a flashlight, and it's gonna be.
And I don't think he has a gold tooth. I think that was absolutely a flashlight. There were people in here that were saying that, and I thought it was funny. I don't know if I just pulled this, so I'm not sure if I put it up there, but this guy, he's covering this well. Monk's Intrigue. MONKS Intrigue. We'll drop a link, all right? Again, typically I put everything in my description, but today I'm just everything new, everything coming out, everything that is going with the theory. So Monk's Intrigue this is who it is. Again, he's covering this case, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Pretty apparent once I pointed out, okay? So first, I will say, doesn't it appear that he was about to knock on the door before noticing the camera? Okay, that alone tells us that this guy has probably not been on this property before. It's either that or he just completely misjudged where the camera was. Okay, so when he does pay attention to the camera, he tries to block the lens. Now, how does someone block a very tiny lens, okay, so poorly that we can still see everything that he's doing? Okay, again, the mastermind is out there somewhere, and he's with that left hand, as you can see, he is trying to do something with the camera. Maybe he's looking for.
Exactly. This is totally botched, whatever it is that day. I like this guy too. I just came across him and I was like, yes. And mind you, I have to watch all this. I've been watching this since last night when I hopped off of my 3-hour live from today until I got home. And then even when I got home, I'm getting all these messages and all this stuff. So yes, I'm going to drop a link though in a second. And you're good, Foxy. I don't think anybody's done anything nefarious, so we're good. Hit that like button, y'all.
Or an off button. Who knows what this guy is thinking about, okay? Maybe he's trying to remove it and not being able to get a good grip on it. What he attempts is beyond words, okay? You can see him. He's just loafing around looking for anything. You can see right here that he uses that flashlight in bursts to see what's on the ground, okay? So MacGyver over here grabs some shrubs. Now, be honest.
All right, guys, and that's what sold me on this guy. Really was his humor, but it was the MacGyver thing that sold it, and what his theory is. I thought that was funny. A lot of people don't even know what I'm talking about, but when people do something stupid or they Jimmy rig something, it's like they pulled a MacGyver, but he didn't pull it off very well. All right. That got me good. I was like, yeah, that guy's an idiot. And I try not to, just, you guys got it. Mitz, thank you for becoming a member. You guys get it. We're all around the same age, so you guys get MacGyvering it. MacGruber, MacGyver, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, like Grish. Does he say that too? That's funny. Midnight Lace, thank you for the 5 months and the demonstration for dedication. PGH, I think I said thank you for the gifted membership, but if I didn't, thank you. And if you received a membership, please thank PGH Deb. All right, let's continue. Who was the executive dance rule? I think they were taking him off and he wanted to kill her before that was done. Possibly. MacGyver was clever. That sold me. The Monk's Intrigue. All right.
Would you ever imagine that when he saw that it was a Nest camera, that he would attempt to build one on it? Regardless, we know that this will fail for the very fact that we find the Nest camera completely ripped out in photos, okay? And this is all the FBI is willing to release right now, okay? They had a lead on some guy who lived 60 miles away in, Rico Rio, that turns out to be a delivery man. So that could account for that package that was on Nancy's doorsteps when the pictures of the blood droplets, were seen. Now, looking at this guy, I mean, really, those eyes could.
Okay, so I just dropped his link. It's not Monk's Intrigue. That's the name of his channel, but it's the left-handed monkey. Yeah, and they're still looking for those allegedly ripped out cameras, by the way. We don't know if they found them or what. Right? The FBI should now be in charge of Nancy's case. They should be, but they're not, and they're not saying that either. All right, but they are saying yes, and it was Nancy's blood. They tested it. All right.
Really fit what was under that ski mask. But this guy is a delivery man, so his routes might have taken him to Nancy. And, you're doing dozens of deliveries a day. You're not going to pay too much attention to the houses that you're at. But it appears that he was free and cleared, from all the interviews that he gave afterwards. Seeing the footage of this guy, it really almost shattered some preconceived ideas I had about this operation, okay? It altered my working theory a bit. But then I thought about it. This guy is definitely not being brought on to this caper with the idea that he will have some, profound insight on how it should go down. He doesn't hold his gun, right, bumbling around the front porch, pretty much unprepared for.
And he's got me on that too, bumbling around on the front porch. Nobody does that. I call him the boxing botanist. Yes, it does look like that, doesn't it? The gloves are so thick. And I tell you, I do not really like those gloves, but I use those gloves for two reasons. I use those gloves because number one, I don't poke the needle through my glove. All right. And I've done that before. When you're tattooing closely, a lot of people use it for, it can be yard work or whatever. There's a certain reason that you would wear a thickness, but then they doubled it up. Okay. I assure you, one pair is super thick, but I like them because you can't see the dirt on them, AKA for me, the ink. When you're doing ink, you don't have ink, just all of your blue or clear gloves, which drives me nuts to see a mess. Number one, and number two, the thickness so it doesn't rip. You don't leave anything. I think they put 2 or 3 pairs at least. All right. And welcome. Is it Jerry? Hi, Jay. I'm new here. I love your channel. I'm so glad YouTube suggested your channel to me. So am I. Hit that like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Let's continue.
World that almost every house has a door cam, which leads me to believe that he was literally hired as muscle, okay, to hang out on the front porch until that front door opens. And I would not be surprised if all they paid this guy was maybe a few $100 and some McDonald's. So in my initial working theory, I had both of the culprits on the front.
A few $100 and some McDonald's. I wonder if they provided him the shrubbery and the gloves. He said, here, I'm going to give you some gloves and you can use the shrubs in the front yard. Go ahead, MacGyver. You got it. I don't like wearing gloves unless I have to. And I really don't like wearing thick gloves where you can't feel it. But you do that to protect yourself and the other person. Yes, Kiki, I think you came on here a little late. We just read that not only is Brian Enton saying that, but every person connected to this case is now saying that same thing, that they are botching this. They're not working well together. Local law enforcement blocked FBI after they found another tested glove. It's just a sham of a case thus far, and nobody knows who's in charge. Period. All right, let's continue.
Porch where they would quickly rip out that Nest camera because they knew it was already there, and then they would stealthily head towards the backyard. Now, seeing this footage, it appears that this guy.
Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button and thank Jumpas for a gifted membership if you received one. He just gifted you guys 10 memberships. That's 10 more chances for you to win a lot at the end of this show. Thank you, Jumpas. And I always got to mention how pretty that picture is. Don't you guys agree? I'm a little too old. But you're pretty, that's a pretty picture. All right, let's go. I think it was a straight up hit. All right. Welcome to the crime crew. Means APS opening case and then she disappeared. Interesting. All right.
Is supposed to stay right there in the front, considering how it looks like he is just in no rush to be anywhere else. So this is how it's altered, my working theory. Okay, so to start, I'll say that this still is an inside job, because if this is not a kidnapping and ransom, what else could it be? There was no burglary, no proof of life. At this point, I could only see Nancy's net worth being the target here. Okay, I mean, her house alone being 1.1 million has to be inheritance and or life insurance and or just basic hatred. Okay, I'll just say, what burns more than a family member that makes you feel lesser, maybe than you believe that you are?
And I'm telling you, if you guys know, right? We have family members, siblings, cousins, what have you. And that happens. And especially when you're the person that gets thrown into the thick of things and you're sitting there struggling and you look over to your right and you've got this pretty sister or cousin or whatever that just walks in, and every time they come in, the spotlight shines on them and you see them just fanning money with whatever they want to do, traveling, living in a big New York City and only coming back to visit mom when X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Savannah's wrong for doing any of that, but what I'm saying is you're going to see next with Annie and how I think that she feels and it's incorporated into the case. Love you, Mom. Don't go missing, okay?
In my opinion. So that remains the same. Now, in this picture, I believe we can see the driveway pretty clearly, and you can see that there are no vehicles there. And that still fits our theory that they parked on the street so as not to leave any tire marks, on the sandy driveway. Now, definitely multiple culprits, in my opinion, possibly 3. Okay, one waiting in the van. We're going to call this guy the front man here. And in this theory, there is a guy heading to the back as this guy is bumbling around in front. We're going to call that guy the leader, unless video comes out to prove us otherwise again. Okay. So while this guy is here, the leader is heading to the back and he is going to scale the wall. And as we can see in the pictures, that wall does not look too very hard to scale. He finds it very easy to get into the back door, whether he has to just give it a great nudge, or in our other theory, the more damning theory, is that somebody left it open on purpose. And that's up for you to decide, or basically just watch the previous video. But anyways, now if the front man has a gun, then definitely the leader has one as well. So the leader rushes to the front.
Where's the leader with his revolver? And thank you guys. So you guys, when we get to the end, guys, again, hang out here, hit the like, comment all you can. At the end of this, we're going to pull 4 names according to Synth. And I'll show you what the giveaway is. It's cookies and candy with Valentine custom M&Ms and cookies, etc. I'm just going to show you what she made for it. And then Synth, you can decide however you want. If I'm pulling 4 names, does that mean that I'm giving 4 giveaways? Are there 4 lucky winners? And you can tell them what they win. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth and tell them what you're giving away. So I'll draw the names, Synth, and you tell them what they won. Foxy Box is being really generous. Foxy says that she's going to give away 2 Foxy Boxes, guys. One can go to anybody that's a member in green, and one can go to a non-member, which means anybody. You could have just came on here minutes ago or not been here all day, and yet you'll win a Foxy Box, which you can ask in chat what a Foxy Box is. They'll tell you. All right, let's continue. That's an afterthought of when this is over, just for saying thank you and happy Valentine's Day. All right, let's continue.
Door to let the front man in, and to be honest, okay, I think the leader sees what this front man was doing with the shrubs, and the leader just takes out the butt of his gun and just breaks the Nest camera out of its housing. Seeing what the front man was doing in the front door, where there is a camera, might have given the leader a heart attack right then and there, except in our scenario, the leader is also privy to certain informations, like there is no subscription for this camera, so there will be no saved footage, right? It's only for live streaming, which makes what the FBI did all that more impressive. And you know that a few people out there are pooping their pants right now. So,
and now I agree, and I got to tell you guys, I think that's 110% incorrect. When Nest or Google, not Nest or Google, any of the Ring or Nest tells you that because you don't have a subscription that they're going to record over it, they don't, guys. They do not record over it. They give you an allotted amount of time, and I can go to them and say, hey, I want my subscription now. I'm going to pay you $20 a month. I need to see what was on there from 4 days ago. And they're happy to help you, which tells me that they're saving this stuff and using it. And there's an allotted amount they give you just to get you hooked into it. And to say, hey, they'll send you a text. Do you want to sign up now and they're not deleting the stuff, guys. Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened the way it went down. They wouldn't have got that footage. Those criminals are just dumb criminals. I don't think they're kidnappers at all, and they botched it. All right, let me get to play real quick, and then I got to get my dog. He's barking. Wes is barking.
Oh, okay. So shortly after breaking the Ring camera, letting in the front man, they head off to Nancy's room, and the poor 84-year-old woman wakes up to a gun pointed at her by two masked men. Of course, she is terrified. Her blood pressure is through the roof, and her heart is beating faster than her pacemaker. Now, here's basically where it's hard to think about, right? So we know that Nancy has a hard time moving in general. Now, we don't know the level of fight she is going to put up. We don't know if she is already ready to meet her maker in this situation. However, we do know that there is blood on the porch that looks like it was leading up to the streets. And now we also know that these guys have guns. If it's not a ransom, not a burglary, then Nancy is not meant to survive this night. And as we know, there has been no proof of life provided. And in one of the videos that I watched, a former FBI agent said, and he said it with his chest, that in the history of ransom and kidnappings, if there's no proof of life, that person has never come back alive. So I will just say that whatever condition Nancy is in when the two men carry her out, she is bleeding. And I think that when maneuvering her out that front door, she is turned in a way where, some of the blood drips.
Right. And you guys know that she was on possible medication that would thin your blood. Yes, Cole, SF, amateur at this type of crime, but experienced criminals. You're 110% right. We looked into possible people that would be suspects, and they absolutely are. Darlene says, question, Jay, did you see that there's a pistol in a revolver case? I did, and I even have a video that I haven't gone over yet about that specifically. That's why the whole thing is just not by somebody that has experience with guns, right? They know how to steal something or whatever. They can do crimes, robbery and theft, but boy, they don't know how to hold a gun. They don't even have the right case for that gun. Nancy, yeah, that's what I was saying. She took blood thinners, and you could just, her arm could have been pinched on something. They could have grabbed her wrong, or she could have, nicked the door. Who knows? But you hear it. Inspector Gadget. All right, let's continue.
Quickly turn her back, and then they carry her away into the van. And that is the working theory. The underlying mastermind behind this whole situation has to have a clear benefit to all this, right? Now, I sat at my computer and I started comparing those eyes to these eyes, where the nose.
Yeah, this is what I like, and I'm finding this across multiple channels. Even Megan Kelly is starting to jump on this bandwagon about it being more than 1, 2, maybe 3 people, and potentially connected to Tommaso and Annie. All right. A lot of people are being careful, as they should. We all have a responsibility to be careful, but I am not a news station. I'm not Fox, or I don't have a producer that's going to tell me you can't say this or do that. So I have to be cautious by myself and tell you, in my opinions, these people have a lot of fact checking to do, or they're going to get fired if they say the wrong thing. All right. PGH Deb, thank you so much. Praying Nancy comes home in one piece. I agree with that. I just want her to come home. I don't know how that's going to go down. And Cool and Chris, if I didn't thank you for the gifted membership, thank you. All right.
Bridge is the almond eyes, very feminine eyes, it appears. Now, a lot of people feel that these here are his eyebrows, but I kind of think that's just shadow from his ski mask. But it could be, and it could be just partially his eyebrows from under that mask. Some even say that it could be a woman, and that's perfectly possible, right? The walls are closing in on the culprits, okay? The FBI has way more stuff than they're willing to share. And if you think about it, they haven't told us much at all about what they found in the house even. I've never seen a picture of the back door. Early on, a lot of things were misreported. So a lot of things get jumbled. Okay, so well, like I quoted, in the last video, let's not listen to what they say, and let's just sit back and watch what they do if we are to garner anything from this case, because hey, the first shoe has dropped, as they say, and things are about to get cracked wide open.
Oh, yes, they are. And we're going to get into the forensics, but there's a lot of people that are concentrated and want to talk about, and rightfully so, about Pima County Sheriff blocking FBI access to key evidence, and FBI should be taking over, etc. Well, I was ready for that to happen. And police officer calls out a vindictive sheriff in the case and said it's bad leadership. So they're fighting, and they're even bringing the fight to the public at this point. I mean, it's all over X and all the other, the where people are typing it, but they also did a whole video. So we're going to watch out just for a minute about the vindictive sheriff and the bad leadership, the way the law enforcement is working. And then I promise we're going to do the forensics, the linguistics. You gotta be here with me for that. Plus we're giving stuff away too. We've been here for almost 2 hours, and it feels like I've only been here for like 30 minutes. Dang. Well, that's okay. That's all right. You guys like the longer streams, and there's a lot of evidence. So let's take a look at them being called out. They're fighting with each other. Frankly, they're not working hand in hand at all, and they don't want to. And nobody's in charge, which is bad.
Near Nancy Guthrie's home. This is the very new stuff now. This, as sources confirm, the FBI is processing a set of gloves found about 1.5 miles from her house. Lieutenant Randy Sutton joins us now. He served 24 years with the Las Vegas Metropolitan PD. He joins us live outside the Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. Randy, your take on what they're looking for that would prompt them to go there at night. What could you maybe infer from this?
Well, in a sense, it shows
hold on,
how desperate they are to literally turn over every stone on this investigation. They are looking for anything, and the reality is that this is very difficult terrain. When you're looking at the wide scope of this search, I mean, it encompasses miles and miles, and with the hope that they will be able to recover something that might have been discarded. Now, I caution about the enthusiasm that has arisen from the discovery of these gloves.
And I agree with him. We're going to get into that too, because those being, TV, all the TV detectives, right? And some of the TV detectives are better than these guys that are fighting with each other. All right. What if they don't want to because it's an inside job from the sheriffs? After all, her husband did pass away. Well, I mean, I didn't even think about that.
Is it possible that they're involved? Sure, and they will diligently, the FBI will diligently examine those for DNA and any possibility. They'll be comparing the material from enhanced photographic images that they recover from the video. They'll do anything to either confirm that those possibly might be the gloves, or that this is a non-starter.
Right. Some people have said those gloves, the ones we saw in the video, that might be the ones we found on the ground. They found on the ground, are from the food service business. That might be somebody that works in some type of area where you need the thickness of those like thermal gloves. How do you feel about that?
Well, I personally believe that those gloves were easily found in any Home Depot or Lowe's, and they are used for plumbing work and things like that. Okay. And that there was a set of gloves underneath that. That's my belief.
That's why.
See, and everybody's been saying that so far, since they look like they're boxing gloves in the video. They're so thick. They're not that thick with just one pair. So I do think that I believe they believe that, and we do now know that they have not just one glove but a set of gloves, and they're fighting over who's testing what where. Why?
They would have the thicker gloves. So the sheriff hasn't spoken to us in a while. We get updates just by piecing together different reports and clues and trying to do our own sourcing. How do you think this is working with the FBI and sheriff, the coordination, the leadership? How is it viewed inside from your context?
How's the coordination and leadership? Let's listen to what he says. All right, and you see the map. That's always important to me, to see where the crime happened. And everyone loves map time with Grizzly, right? She's good at that. So I really do like that they're showing us where Nancy's home is, and in proximity to the location of the glove, and where they're searching, and major exits and routes. I love it. I love seeing that stuff. I'm a nerd like that.
Now, that's a great question because this is something that's concerned me from the very beginning. Of course, following this case from the outset, beginning when the sheriff did give his press conferences, the way he gave these press conferences was startling. It was unprofessional. He seemed to be out of his depth, quite honestly. He gave information, then he walked back information, then he said this, he said that. Clearly, under his leadership, the scene was not secured properly. We're now understanding that the FBI wasn't called in until several days later.
Why'd they put Mike Tyson up there? That was funny.
That the scene itself was compromised. This is bad leadership, and I can tell you this: that I've been on the ground here for like 10 days now, and I've got pretty good sources in the area when it comes down to how this sheriff is viewed. And he's viewed as a vindictive sheriff, that he has in actuality.
So do you hear what's happening? He's saying that people are viewing him locally as a vindictive sheriff. We know that he was criticized for not only the different press conferences or what he's saying, but also in the middle of the investigation, in the beginning, not even the middle, the most crucial time, he was at a basketball game. And now he's blocking FBI from testing the glove by blocking information. Somebody's got to do something about this.
Gotten rid of some of his most experienced people, including on the homicide team. The homicide team here is they don't get that much experience because I think last year there were only 5 murders as opposed to Tucson, which had like 50. So to be a homicide detective requires a great deal of time and education, but experience. Well, he got rid of his most experienced because he had disciplinary problems or personal problems with them. Same thing with the pilot of the airplane that needed to be up immediately in a search and rescue. He got rid of the pilot and assigned him back to another assignment. He was their pilot. And
are you guys hearing what? Did you know any of this? Because I wasn't paying attention to the things that they messed up on. I knew that overall, in the overall theory, that people were criticizing him, but I didn't know specifically what decisions or lack of that he was making. Damn. Somebody needs to fire that guy immediately.
And in all reality, he is not viewed as an effective leader. He's viewed as a vindictive leader. And we're seeing that, I believe, because he hasn't given a press conference since all of the criticism that arose from his other press conferences. And this is bad leadership. The people have a right to have some transparency. Yes. Of course, you don't want to give up the leads or anything, but the people have a right to have some confidence in the law enforcement area here.
I keep going back to John Ramsey told me on Sunday, one of his big regrets was not pushing harder to get the FBI more involved early. He just acquiesced and said, do your thing. He says, and he really regrets not doing that. And we know that.
You didn't know he was at a basketball game. They had live coverage, and they had literally stopped the live coverage at the crime scene, which was originally at Nancy's house, to shoot to the basketball game where he was. So he's giving bad direction. He's firing people. He's blocking FBI from evidence. What? See, I didn't know all that. I did not know that. Posted suspect discovered. Yeah, well, let's wait on that, guys. Okay, if you have something, we don't want to direct people to another channel. We're almost to the linguistics, and then we can go back to a live scene. So I'm all for other creators because we show them, but let's just wait for a minute. We still have stuff to get through. Jules to Cali too. Thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate it. Again, we are watching anything that's breaking and on the scene. No body, no life insurance. And that's where I get stuck, Vonda Stafford. No body, no life insurance. It takes forever to get that. All right. All right. Didn't I tell you what? All right. guiltyofcrime@gmail.com. If you guys have something to tell me, email me. All right. All right. Let's continue. Thank you. I appreciate that, Skylar. All right.
His daughter was in his own house. Lastly, if there was a Guthrie getaway vehicle, was it caught on a traffic camera anywhere after you saw the doorway video? Do you think, what would you be looking for there? Could that be possible?
Yeah, it is possible. And I think that's why they're looking at every single ounce of video that they can obtain from security cameras in convenience stores to the whatever is out there officially in the government, poll cams and things like that. So they're looking for anything that could possibly be have been utilized as a getaway vehicle. Yeah. And I fully believe that it is out there. He didn't drag that woman out of there and carry her off to Never Land. There's a vehicle involved.
Right. The city of Tucson does not have cameras that record moving vehicles. So it's unfortunate. Some people might like that, but doesn't help here. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Great job. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox
Sorry,
News
guys.
YouTube.
Thank you, Emily. I just got a breaking news that the Nancy Guthrie ransom imposter, the one that messaged the family directly, was released from their custody. So ransom imposter accused of writing a fake note to Nancy Guthrie's family, Annie and Tommaso, was released from federal custody. 42-year-old Derek Kalela's facing charges of transmitting a demand ransom in the interstate commerce and texting, basically is what they're saying, with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person. So it doesn't mean anything other than he's just walking out. Doesn't mean the charges are going away. None of that. They just took the opportunity to look at the footage. And I'll show you quickly, because we are getting into the linguistics portion of it. This part's done. Let me just show you real quick, just so you can see what this man looks like now, right? And this is the connection. This was the imposter that was connected to Annie and Tommaso. Again, it doesn't mean he's cleared.
To TMZ earlier on today, whether it is authentic,
Thank you, Emily.
whether it is real, or is someone trying to take and make the most of a terrible situation. We're learning more information right now about one of those individuals that they've already apprehended in this case. I want to put up some video here on Live Now from Fox outside of a courtroom. As you can see there, the objection for a ransom imposter was released today. The man accused of writing an imposter ransom note in the Guthrie case released. There was no objection for his release. The judge said there was no tolerations for violations of his release. The damage was done was significant. The fake ransom demand caused a whole government response across 2 district law enforcement did.
And it connected right back to Annie and Tommaso. So let's get into that. Let's get into the linguistics, because it's important. I don't want you guys to leave, and I'll continue bringing anything that's breaking or I think's important. And I agree. Somebody just sent me an email about, isn't it clear how they got in was probably through the garage. They had a code, probably. Now, we haven't heard that yet, but I don't know if it's okay. I'll just say your first name, Tanya. Says, isn't it obvious that one of the criminals had access to a garage opener or knew the code, and that's why we didn't find any forced entry? To me, must be a helper, handyman, or someone that she knew or stole the code or garage opener if they got in through there, which is, we see them going to the front door. They didn't break in. It's really weird, the whole situation, but yeah, I agree. I mean, we heard how she got dropped off through the garage. It took 2 minutes. That whole situation is really weird. All right, FBI is releasing new physical description. We'll take a look at that. But I'm surprised they didn't do a drawing of it. They're just saying 5'9", 5'10". All right, now let's get to Annie and how I think she's connected or what have you. All right, and this is the same guy. It's in my description. This is Practical Linguistics, who showed us that he thought it could possibly be a female. He's actually doing the linguistics on Annie and those ransom or those pleads to the public.
Welcome to the video. Today we're going to look at a sample of speech given by one of the daughters of this woman. This woman's name is Nancy Guthrie, and she went missing from her home in Arizona on the 1st of February. Her daughter, whose statement we're going to look at today, is the last person to see her alive. She dropped her off at her home on the 31st of January after a night of mahjong, and Nancy didn't show up for church the next day and was reported missing. So her daughter, Annie, I'll show you her picture.
Cash App. What's Cash App?
Her daughter, Annie, the lady on the left there, put out this statement, and just enlarge that, you'll see Annie is the lady on the left, and she's standing next to a woman called Savannah Guthrie, and Savannah Guthrie apparently is a TV celebrity who has her own show. So,
and of course we know all this, right? But let's continue. We know all this,
spoken or whether it was written, but anyway, you sent me the transcript, and that is what we're going to look at today. Okay, so the
Guys, be prepared to say, oh shit, I did, and excuse my language. Oh dang, I did hear this, and I did think it was weird. I said thanks to Jules if I didn't say it out loud. Jules, to Callie, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. If you received a membership, please thank Jules. That gives you one more chance to win at the end of the show. All right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, anyway, prepare to be like, oh, I did hear that, and I thought it was weird, but it went so quick and it passed. I heard that. I didn't realize 100%. She was focused on her own self, her integrity, and acting like a child. Take a listen. In my opinion.
Piece of language sent out to the media by daughter of missing Nancy Guthrie, by her daughter Annie, the last person to see her alive. Okay, this is the statement in its entirety. You'll see that most of it I've coloured yellow, which means that these are all primary clauses. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Straight talking only. We have one brown clause down there, that's called an elaboration, and we have one blue one, that is called an enhancement, but otherwise no extensions.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I saw somebody say Cash App. Thank you so much for the generous Cash App donation. I appreciate you. All that's going straight to CrimeCon 2026. All right, that's going to be in Las Vegas this year, and we're going whether we have a booth or not.
Just plain English. And that is normally a sign of honesty, but this statement does contain some red flags, so we will cover them, and I'll leave it to you to be the final judge of what is going on here. Okay, let's begin with the first statement. The light is missing from our lives. In English, we are always pointing somewhere. We're either pointing backwards, anaphorically, forwards, cataphorically, or outwards, exaphorically. And when Annie says the light,
don't worry, it gets exciting. I also want to thank D&T Transportation. Says thanks for what you do. I love your show. Thank you for the Cash App as well. I missed that and I apologize. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
She is referring to something that we ought to know about. The light is missing from our lives. We don't know about it because there is nothing that it refers to. So this is not an anaphoric reference. It must be cataphoric. She must be referring forwards to something. And indeed she is. If we look down, she says, Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. There we have the word beacon. So the word light is referring all the way down to the word beacon there, cataphorically. I would argue actually that she could also be referring to the light exaphorically. It's a light that she alone knows about. It's the light that is her mother. She's obviously using this metaphorically to refer to the way in which she regards her mother in her life. So this could also be an exaphoric reference.
And they also could have certainly given her those particular words to use because the other children were clearly reading off and on, and so did she. She was breathing real hard, blinking real fast, and she kept looking down at something. But not once was she pleading for anything, and you'll see in a minute, to do with, hey, kidnapper, bring my mother home. None of that. She just starts talking about that she's human and she's a child, and it's the weirdest thing.
Nevertheless, we have to bear in mind that Annie is a published poet. She wrote a book recently, or a collection of poems recently, called The Good Dark, which.
And remember that Tommaso is a science teacher, and she's a poet and didn't know it. Just kidding. She's a poet, and I don't even know what else she does, but they're not wealthy by any means.
Is an interesting contrast to the light, isn't it? And so she knows what she's doing. She's a bit of a wordsmith, and yet I don't think that she has really thought very carefully about this statement. She's beginning with this exaphoric, cataphoric reference. I personally would not have made the listener work so hard. I would have started with Nancy is our mother. That would be number one. She is our beacon. And now the light is missing from our lives. You see, that would flow much better.
Now, we haven't seen any kind of paperwork about Annie being a power of attorney for Savannah or any of that. Obviously, law enforcement isn't giving us any of that information. We did see the POA that wasn't filed. It was never filed or properly between Annie and Tommaso. But the reason I'm speculating that she was the one in control of her mom and helping her because she was 10 miles away. There could find more documentation in the house where they falsely did that POA because, well, they messed up. Still, again, it's a crime. It's a motive. It's a money motive. Those are just my thoughts. And power of attorney depends on different circumstances on how you can spend the money, how you can pay her bills, how much you can get, etc. Well, let's continue this.
And we don't need this statement. We are her children. This is what we call a tautology. And tautology is used sometimes on purpose to emphasize a fact. And one gets the feeling here that Annie is wishing to emphasize the fact that she is a child. It comes through several times, and that is one of the main messages in this statement. There is another message in it, but one of the messages in the statement is...
And don't worry, we're not just going to show a bunch of words, we're going to play it, but she puts her voice down, she talks like a child, the way she calls her mom, but she never pleads for her return or to the kidnappers.
Is, I am a child. She doesn't actually use the word I. Notice she always aligns herself with her sister. So we always get the third person plural, we. So she's referring to herself and her sister. When she does talk about her mother, let's have a look. Firstly, let's say the light is missing. Missing is an attribute. We then have these identifiers. Nancy is our mother, another identifier, her children, another identifier, our beacon. But then she goes on to talk about her mother actually doing something. And these are both mental processes. And anything on the right-hand side is called the news. So the word that she relates to her mother in the news is this word joy, twice. And yet she doesn't say that her mother feels joy. She says that her mother holds fast to joy and that she chooses joy. She doesn't feel joy. So the implication here is that joy is not the default position for her mother. She finds it difficult perhaps to be joyful.
And guys, I mean, that matches up with the fact that possibly they're getting tired of having to run back and forth, take care of mom when she needs it, take her to, we don't know exactly what she's doing, but unless Nancy said, you know what, I don't want you to pick me up, I'm gonna Uber over there or something like that, I do believe there's contention in that relationship, and this proves that.
Because she is experiencing pain and grief. And we have heard that her mother needs medication, that she has a pacemaker, that she can't walk very far unaided. So that could very well be the pain. And the grief, we hear that she lost her husband many years ago. So joy is not the default position, and yet...
But I also wonder if when this does get solved, and again, guys, say a prayer that Nancy Guthrie is brought home. I don't think that she's with us any longer. I don't think that there's some mystery kidnapper or kidnappers that are, giving her medication and treating her good and feeding her and hydrating her. I don't think that. I don't think she's with us any longer. But whatever happened to her, whenever it comes out, whoever did that could use the fact that mom did have health elements and didn't do well without her medication, etc. It could be like, oh, well, we went in and we found her like that because mom didn't take her medication and she fell. And then we got scared. So we remember that. When people emphasize too much on something, they're telling you more than you need to know. It's kind of like in the Sebastian Rogers case and the Madeline Soto case, that overemphasis of them being autistic, the overemphasis of the ADHD, the overemphasis of them not really understanding things, that tells you a lot more than you think. All right. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. I didn't see you earlier. Just wanted to say hello.
She strives for it, and that acts as an inspiration, perhaps, to Annie. That is why she refers to her metaphorically as a beacon and the light, and she writes a book called The Good Dark. I wonder if Annie is a bit depressed and she needs her mother as a source of hope and inspiration. Perhaps, I don't know, but maybe a psychologist listening would be able to shed some light on that idea. Now, the next bit is the interesting bit. We are always going to be merely human. We are always going to be is a prediction, but we get two really interesting words here. These are both red flag words. The word always is a mood adjunct of temporality, and it's never as good as just leaving it out. Just to say we are is far stronger a statement than we always are, because it exists on a scale of from never to always. It's never the absolute pole. So it's a red flag word, and it indicates to us that then
we should have played it first before we watch it, but he's gonna play it after. I don't know why. They also, you're right. Didn't they say the pacemaker should an elevated heart rate when Nancy was at Annie's house? I do believe that they did say that, and people are speculating that maybe they got into an argument that went wrong. All right, Babylon. All right, let's continue. Let's get through this. She babyfies herself. I'm gonna go a little bit forward because some of these things are just common sense to me, maybe. When someone over accentuates words or has to throw in, I mean, we do that in on YouTube, shocking news or whatever. Instead of just saying news, we use these accentuating always or this to get the attention, and it's what YouTube likes. But she's not doing that. She's supposed to be pleading to kidnappers to bring her mother home. All right, this almost gets like a football game. Always, merely, just a mood. They're going to show
seems to be the expectation or the expectancy of the listener, and she is trying to limit it to this word here, human. Don't think that we're anything more than human. Now,
I agree. I thought that was the weirdest thing that she kept saying, we're only human, because I'm like, wow, when something goes down and she's named in it, remember that she's only human. Don't crucify her for what happened. Maybe it was an accident. All right. Again, we don't know when we're going to find out or what.
Now, this could be explained perhaps by the fact that her sister, because she's speaking in the third person plural here, is a celebrity. So it could well be that she feels that people are treating them differently because of her sister's status. Now, that would explain these red flags. But she gives us another tautology here. She goes on to say, just normal human people who need our mum. So once again, she uses a tautology to emphasize this word human.
But she's emphasizing it about herself. She's emphasizing everything towards her. She's not projecting anything at all towards the audience, towards the camera, towards the news, towards the media. It's all about her, and you'll see. All right, and if you guys want, I mean, we've been here for what, 2 hours and 17 minutes. I have one other thing. We can go hop off and see what's going on. But also, I do have unanswered questions about the case. And to answer the question, were there two people in the Nest camera images? So we'll see. Again, we're giving things away after this. So let me know if you guys want the longer version of this or you just want to be done. Put 1 if you want to continue and 2 if you just want to say bye.
So not only that, but she uses elision here. There should be some words here which we could fill in. We are always going to be just. This time she switches out the word merely for the word just, which is another mood adjunct of counter expectancy. She's trying to control what she perceives to be the expectation of the listener again. And she's controlling it down to this idea that she's normal. Why would she do that? And that she's human again. So yeah, we've got tautologies, we've got 3 mood adjuncts, and we've got this repetition of an emphasis on the word human. So I would say that is the second main point of Annie's message. Firstly, I'm a child and I'm human.
And what point is that? Where is that helpful for anybody or anything? When I saw this and she said that, it did nothing for me other than make her look afraid and guilty. And I hate to say that, guys, but that's what I thought before I broke any of this down. I told you about her rapid blinking. She was breathing real hard and she looked like a deer in the headlights, scared. But then at one point she closes her eyes and people joke around and say, did she just fall asleep in this? No, I think she's trying to visualize what happened. That's what's making her, because remember, she gets a little sad faced and kind of cryy, but it doesn't look sad, it looks scared. So when people close their eyes, they're trying to recall a situation, and when they're recalling that situation, it brings them back to be able to portray a certain thing. And when people close their eyes, they're trying to think of the right words. It's not a natural flow, like how I'm talking to you and telling you my main point is Annie's trying to humanize herself and make us feel bad for her. I'm not having to close my eyes and think about what I'm saying to you because I have that point hard in my head and it's there, right? I'm not trying to emphasize something about myself like she is, in my opinion.
I'm a human child. I'm childlike. And, you know, when we say I'm only human, usually it's a kind of a confession, isn't it? There was a song back in the 1980s. Anybody in the UK of a certain age would remember the Human League and their single Human, which was a bit of a confession of betrayal. I'm only human. So, yeah, it's kind of got that implication as well. There's a little bit of a sort of...
I'm a human child, guys. Send me money. I'm a human child. I have a Bitcoin. Oh, I mean, hold on. Let's go a little forward because this, to say all this is basically what we're saying. She's really talking about herself.
Interesting here that Annie is emphasizing the fact that she's, you know, hiding in the crowd there with her sister. She's not standing out alone and saying it, but really she's saying it by herself. Her sister hasn't put these words into her mouth, obviously. So really she's saying, I'm human. I'm only human.
And I don't know why she disappears in later interviews. Maybe she's disappearing in later interviews because she sees the feedback and everybody's saying that she's guilty and implicating her, and maybe she's not, right? We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But later on, I think they realize it's not doing any good to put this lady in there. So they go as far as to get the brother to talk by himself and plead, and for Savannah to go on, but Annie doesn't. And then when we see her again, she's hiding, right?
And she's really emphasizing that I'm human, 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 human. I'm only human.
How many times are you going to say that?
Child. Look at me as a child. I'm just a child and I'm a human. I'm only human. I'm nothing more than human. Yeah. Now, as I say, this could well be countering the idea that they are being treated exceptionally because of her sister's status. But I wonder why it is the main message here. It's about herself. There is no concern for her mother's disappearance. The concern is that she should be misunderstood in some way, and that she should be regarded as a child, a human child, only human, nothing more than human. So, you know, it's a bizarre focus for a statement, I think, and that in itself is another red flag. We then get this word mama, mama. So now she's addressing her mother instead of the general public.
And again, even before breaking this down and seeing what she's actually saying with linguistics, we've already come to the point that she tries to be like a goth person. Some people say that she's always been really weird and the odd duck. They went to high school with her. She used a lot of D-rugs, right? A lot of people were saying not so good things about her. So that doesn't help her case.
Mama, mama, this again, very childlike. I get the feeling that Annie is the real baby of the family here, and she wants it known that she's the baby of the family. Mama, mama, if you are listening, please come home. We miss you. I never understand this. You always see this sort of thing in missing persons appeals, don't you? They always say, please come home, as if the person is sitting comfortably watching TV and seeing somebody saying, oh, please come. And they, oh, yeah, okay, well, if they miss me, I'll go home then. They must know that that's not the case, that somebody who has disappeared under these circumstances is not able to just come home. So please explain it to me. Any of you psychologists out there, is there some sort of trick being played on any would-be abductor? Is that what's happening here? Is a psychological trick being played on an abductor to get them to release the person they've abducted? I don't know. I don't know why it's always included. It never makes sense to me. So explain it if you can. But that brings me to my final point. There is no appeal to an abductor. No concern really for her mother's well-being, no appeal to an abductor, concern for any misunderstanding that may be occurring in regards to herself, and a desire to be regarded as a child. Well, there you have it. I don't know what you make of it, but that's my analysis. What do you think?
All right, that's
comment.
What I think is I should have showed the video first, but I'm just going to hop right to Instagram real quick and play that exact video, and you'll see how it progresses. So this is Savannah's. If you guys want to follow anything or watch anything, go to Instagram.com/Savannah Guthrie and go follow her, because she's posting all of her pleads and all of her things to her Instagram. You don't have to wait for the news to tell you what's happening, and then you don't have to have the news break it up for you and not show you the whole damn thing. All right. So this is how it progressed. First, we had this please pray come from Savannah. And then this was interview number 1, where she was smiling before they even started. Okay. This is the second one with the brother. We thought he's a little robotic, but we know he's a fighter pilot or something like that. And then we get to this one, and we see her holding her hand, but barely. We see the body language change. And then she's completely dropped out of this. Not at all here. She's not in this one. None of that. We just don't see her anymore. So let me just show you this one real quick. This is the one that we went over just because I want you to see it. All right. It's okay. Michelle says, LOLJ, it's okay. We're all mind jumbling. All right. I don't either. F-16 pilot. Well, thank you, Synth. Fighter pilot. Whatever. We're not focused on him. All right. So what we just broke down. Let's take, first of all, look at her face. I'm going to bring this down so you can see how before we even start, she's got a smirk on her face and a smile. Tracy McComer, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I'm going to pretend like that super sticker has got an avocado on it. Tommaso doing DoorDash too. Sorry, he was out for a bit. Did someone say he was doing DoorDash? All right, let's look at this so we can get to the next unanswered questions, and if we think there are 2 people in the Nest camera images or not. All right. I personally think there are. You know my stance. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and tell you my theory was wrong. All right. So before we even ever started it, watch. Let me just do it. Let me refresh it. Look at her getting ready. She has to stop smiling. All right, let's go.
On behalf of our family,
more. I want to open it more.
We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we
can I open the whole
continue to believe that she feels them too.
Look at her.
Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses.
And now we're doing this with the body language, right? We don't have to, we just broke down 15 minutes of linguistics. You can clearly see her being the spokesperson, which she is. She's on Today's Show. Everyone knows her. This guy's never probably done anything like this, and her the entire time. She's doing things like licking her lips, breathing hard, blinking a lot, closing her eyes while she's talking, okay?
She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon.
See, that was totally that beacon part, like I said, was totally she did a bite lip after breathing hard. That whole beacon in the very first part was something that they wrote. All right, mom's full of light and daughter's full of darkness. I see that. And especially the more times I see it and look at what she's saying, because when we're breaking down linguistics on the screen, it looks like a football game in the fourth quarter, right? Go this way, let's tackle that guy. Go that way. If you can't go around it, that's what it looks like to me. I'm a visual person, so I want to see what she's saying, but also see her body language. So now we're just getting to see this was what we broke down. And those beginning things, if she talked about a beacon and blah, 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 that was written. But when she starts to talk, it's like it's all about her. She's not pleading to a kidnapper. She's not asking her to be brought home. She's not even using herself to refer like, I am her child and I want her home. She has to use them as a we. It's not flowing.
She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain.
And when I heard her say that, despite her already having passed, I was like, oh man, is that like leakage? And it's just me being me, right? Is that leakage when she said that? It was weird, right? Weird cadence too. It sounds like she was saying that she freaking, I saw that too. They used the same Silence of the Lambs script that they used for the mother. But she's full of darkness. And was it a Freudian slip? Was it leakage when she said my mom passed? My heart dropped when I first heard that. My mom passed.
And grief. We are always going to be merely human.
Okay.
Just normal human people.
Okay.
Who need our mom.
Is that right?
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart.
You see how she keeps closing her eyes? It's funny that people are saying that she fell asleep, but I really do think she's remembering what happened during the scene of whatever happened.
It's fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive.
You see her eyebrows go up like, does she knows that she doesn't have medicine, or maybe she does know she has it.
She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can.
Sure.
We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you.
Yep.
And we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
She said that like 3 times again, trying to make herself be human, not pleading to anybody. It's like she knew that the mom had medication or some medication. There's a lot going on in that. Again. All right, let's get to the unanswered questions and the second person. If there's anything else you guys want me to show, let me know. I mean, I don't want to keep regurgitating Fox News that say breaking news of something that we just saw on X. So let's take a look at this unanswered questions. And were there two people in the Nest camera images?
All the physical clues by now that are there to find. It's like virtually every day they're out there. You're shaking your head no, Maureen. Why?
Because being on the evidence response team and also being part of, being a case agent involved in a lot of these cases, especially when you open a tip line. So as soon as they offered that $50,000 reward.
Okay, so this, we know now it's not 50, it's 100,000, which happened this morning. And again, I'm hopping around. I'm taking a look at your guys' emails. So if there's something new, FBI new release on info is the same thing. It's the 5'10" whatever pounds. That's what they did with the tent this morning. So unfortunately, we're not missing like a sketch or something. All right.
That just opened the floodgates, as everyone here, certainly those of us in the Bureau, can attest to. And when they open those floodgates, you're going to get a whole bunch of other tips. For example, you're going to get phone calls saying, hey, on the day after she disappeared or late that night, I was driving by a highway, whatever, and right here at the mile marker 32, I saw a car pulled over and parked or whatever. Then you've got all the...
Yeah, you're definitely going to have two sides of every story when you get onto social media. I didn't even watch the behavior panel because a lot of times when I watch the behavior panels, like for instance, I tried to follow the behavior panel in the Jen Soto case, and I felt like they were wrong the whole time. Like everything they were saying was the opposite of, and not that they were wrong, I just didn't agree with them. So, I mean, it's whatever perspective you have. Nobody's been charged. Nobody's been named as formal suspects. The most we know right now is the case. The case got a late start. FBI and the sheriff are not working hand in hand together. They're blocking them, and they're outside with the tent. That's all we know.
Technical stuff going on in the background that we talked about with the geofencing and everything. And if they opened it up and looked at the hours afterwards and such, they'll notice that two devices were stopped on the side of the road, someplace or the other, so even they're checking all these things out as they come in and as they're developing throughout the investigation. It's very fluid and it's very intensive.
Now, I do wonder, guys, if remember, they're tracking IP addresses, not only IP address along with a Bitcoin wallet. Yeah, lots of people say mama, like in the movie Carrie. Yeah, but our parents aren't kidnapped when they're like, I'm only a human, mama. And you're not pleading for the kidnapper to bring her home or anything like that. Okay. And it could be anything. I could be totally way off base. This is just my interpretation, and that they could have been using one of those wireless router packs. You can get like a jet pack where you can move your I don't know if how they check the IP address on that, but I remember law enforcement talking about wondering if they used an alternate like a hotspot or something when they're communicating. I think two people, two-way different head shapes, and exactly. I mean, that's what we've been looking at, not just the different head shapes, but look at even the masks themselves, everything about it. Look at on the left, you've got like a dark skinned guy with what did we call that? A flavor saver and a mustache. Over here, we've got, just different. We've gone over it quite a bit. Deep set eyes, bug eyes, facial hair, no facial hair, zipped all the way up. One's not. I just don't see it. I don't see it. All right, let's continue. That's some of them are AI. Some of them are AI. I agree. Right. And this one, they AI'd the color into. And some of them aren't. So some of them are, like, these aren't the AI ones. This one has to be because there's no eyes on it. Right. But this is these are the images that have been released. Again, we're back talking about if they're two people and unanswered questions that we've all been wondering.
James Hamilton, what do we glean from the fact that they keep going back to Annie and Tomas's home and neighborhood? Nancy had eaten dinner with them that night, allegedly played games, and was dropped off back at her house, which is, I'm told, 4 miles or 10 minutes away.
There you go.
So why, I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions about that couple, but that is not, we're told, the crime scene. So why are they so obsessed with
right? I don't want to jump to conclusions about that couple, but why do they keep going out there? Let's see what these people say. I mean, this is all, you don't have to be an FBI agent or a police officer or a sheriff to ask the question that Megyn Kelly's asking. Why are they so fixated and why have they spent so much time at the couple's home? They don't have anything to do with it. And the mom, it wasn't a crime scene, or was it? Or is it? And they're not telling us.
Canvassing that neighborhood and that backyard.
Yeah, I don't think you're jumping to conclusions at all. You always start with who saw the victim last. And in this case, that's who saw Miss Guthrie last.
Yep.
So that makes complete sense that they're going to, run that to ground and continue to look at that story. And, don't forget, kidnappings are, like we were saying earlier, they're very, very difficult. And so this, indication there's more searching going on. This is a very desolate area. This isn't Manhattan. It's possible there's, a place to put a body in a lot of different places. And remember, this kidnapping, obviously there was some violence, and we know there's a heart issue. So either the violence could have caused some, God forbid she died during the kidnapping or shortly thereafter, or her heart, God forbid, stopped. And now this kidnapper's stuck with this dead body.
And that's what I was thinking too. Exactly what he's saying when I keep saying that there's a botched crime. I don't think that they meant to do all of the stuff that happened, and it turned out to be like this. What's up, Mabster? How you doing, my friend? News and media get so fixated and tired they start to slip and not see things exactly, and they are watching this. These media sources are watching our streams. That's what they're responding to a lot of times on their in their interviews. And right now there's just another breaking news alert. The sheriff's team is not off to a great start, and they're talking all about that. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it's been botched from day one. We all know it. They're calling it out. They're not working well. They're not playing well together, which is hindering this investigation, period. All right. How many days? It took them 12 days to even freaking acknowledge that there may be more than one person. Come on.
What's he going to do, right? He's not getting money for it. If that was his intent, was to kidnap to get the money. Now, what are you going to do? Well,
yes,
maybe you dump it, and then you just drive away. And so there's going to be, like Maureen was saying, people giving tips, saying, "Hey, I saw this." No one's talked about this white van. That's a whole good lead. No one seemed to want to talk about it. I'd love to talk about it, but that's what you're seeing here. I'm shocked that there's a very specialized unit of dogs that the FBI has that can track a lot of things. I'm surprised they haven't been deployed. Maybe they have, but things like that, I would have had expected to see by now.
Mm-hmm. Will, you're shaking your head. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is why, because the investigation, everything right now on breaking news is saying sheriff in the Guthrie case is withholding key evidence from the FBI. Case botched. Like everybody's talking about that right now, just so you know that you're not missing anything. That's what's happening right now. That's why I wanted to bring a different episode today where we're looking at the perspectives that we've all been thinking about and nobody's really talking about, because I can't sit there and regurgitate the same stuff they're saying over and over and over in different ways. All right.
I mean, a couple of things I'd probably pick up on, Megyn, from your comments about the interest in family members or close family members. Well, the first thing that I got taught when I first learned kidnap and ransom negotiation was the 70% rule, and it still prevails to this day. And that is that in most kidnappings, if this is indeed a kidnapping, in 70% of cases, there will be someone connected to the victim that will be working in close proximity or will be a family member. And I think through the process of obviously elimination, the feds are going to have to look very much at the family very, very closely to see whether they are a viable prospect in terms of being suspects or whether they can be discounted from their.
Well, we're not that dumb. I don't think any of us are that dumb. How could we say anything other than the fact that they've been back at that house almost as much as they've been at the, so to speak, crime scene? All right. Yeah. You don't get rich playing in band bars or being a science teacher. All right. People are pissed right now. It's blowing up, not only the internet, YouTube in general, but it's on X, it's on TikTok. People are pissed about they're saying it's insane. That is how FBI source summarizes the Pima County Sheriff withholding evidence from the FBI. That's the problem. And that comes after the post that talks about Pima County blocking FBI from accessing key evidence, right? We had one glove yesterday. Now we found that a second glove in the house. Does that second glove match the first glove, or was that just tossed out by some food worker? I just don't get it. I don't get why they're working this way.
Inquiries. And just to cover on a point that James made, I've negotiated on the return of a dead body. So again, depending on who the group is, I agree with James that yes, if he does have the frail Nancy on his hands and she passes away, they may potentially discard the body. But if there's a slightly more professional element behind it, they may still continue to negotiate against that for the return of it. I think the key issue here really is the proof of life or lack thereof of.
Yep.
Go ahead, Fitz. I can see you want to get in.
Yeah, and historically speaking, everything that's being said here in the last few minutes is accurate. The last known kid, and I'll touch on a.
Wait. Now listen real quick. So right when this is done, we're going to do a giveaway. Okay. So we've got about 10 more minutes, and then we're going to give away 4 sets of cookies and candies to 4 different people, and then 2 Foxy boxes. All you got to do is make sure you hit that like button and comment in the chat. If you have a membership, you have 5 different opportunities to win. If you don't have a membership, you have 1 opportunity to win a Foxy box. All right, my mods and all of us are getting tired, and I don't want to keep them too long, or any of you, but we still want to do the giveaways. All right, so let's.
The Exxon executive, he died 4 days into his captivity. Those kidnappers kept it up for 50 plus days after that.
Now listen, guys, the biggest piece of evidence or not evidence that we have that she's not alive is the fact that we've never seen or heard of a proof of life. Now, would they tell us that? I don't know, but we're not seeing them search or do things that would, when I say they, law enforcement, FBI, that they're looking for a recovery of a person that's alive. And we have not heard it once. It's been 12 days. If someone really wanted that kidnapper money, the $6 million, they would show a proof of life. They would show or produce something. And that just hasn't happened. So that's why I think this happened. If you listened just minutes ago where they said exactly what they think, it was a crime that got botched, and they're like, shit, we can't collect on this now because now we have a dead body. Or now if she's missing, we can't get an inheritance because they didn't declare her dead. We can go back and forth, but there's been no proof of life.
Trying to get the money. Husband and wife team eventually arrested. We talked about some of that last week. And to go back to the search aspects of it, there's never a wrong search or a bad search. I mean, as long as it's legal with consent, things we've all discussed already so far. And there's nothing wrong with re-interviewing, re-interviewing, multiple times people as new information comes up. So to me, it doesn't necessarily put any more of a suspicion on family members when agents are going back. The other thing I'll throw out there, I haven't heard this mentioned at all by anyone in the media. And I've been to Phoenix a few times. I'm not sure Tucson. I know it's not a lake-filled or pond-filled area, but I'm sure there are reservoirs or retaining ponds, pools, whatever they call them. I've heard nothing about any dive teams going into them anywhere along the way, and maybe someone here has. But that's something that.
True, but I guess that why would they even go to that level? Jumpa says, I think Savannah saw pictures from inside the house, then asked public for help. And don't you wonder, Jumpa's, what else is in the house? All right, come out with a video, something. Come out. Huh. All right, let's continue. Yeah, video, any kind of proof of life, anything, even a picture. Come on, Israel Keys did better than that, and the girl was not alive.
It should also be considered. Again, I'm not looking for Mrs. Guthrie's here necessarily, but certainly tools, elements of the crime, anywhere along any sort of egress. That's something they may want to consider if they haven't already.
We predicted this, and now it hits via TMZ, that the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department are homing in on the outfit the presumed kidnapper wore as he approached the front door. They are on the hunt for who bought the items. Law enforcement sources involved in the investigation tell TMZ.
And I feel like they're doing a terrible job at that, by the way. All right. You guys think that too. I think a lot of you are like, wait a minute, what? Are they trying to trick us when they show us that backpack and it doesn't even look the same? What? What's happening here?
They singled out 3 items in particular: those gloves, Maureen, the backpack, and the gun visible on the Nest video. We're told authorities are contacting manufacturers and retailers to
I'm sorry, I had to laugh because what her face did. She's like, dear Lord, every person that's in law enforcement, every person that has any kind of knowledge or that shoots a gun knows that that was the weirdest, honest, just the craziest way to hold and holster. It didn't even fit the right gun, but they had it right directly at, ugh. Anyway, I can go on. We have whole videos about about detectives and former whatever talking about how bad that was.
to figure out who may have purchased the items, the gloves, the backpack, and the gun. What's interesting to me is like, maybe not the gloves, like the backpack and the gun. That's something, guns are big in America and they're big in the Southwest. It's not unusual to find somebody out there with a gun, and it's not unusual to find anybody with a backpack. A face mask that, you know, you wear that where I grew up in Syracuse, New York. That's, everyone's got one. But in Tucson?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You can wear it down to get your mail if you want to have your face when you get back inside. But that to me seems very suspicious. In any event, they, of course, are going to do that because we saw in Kohlberger, as clever as he was in some ways, he bought that damn K-bar knife on Amazon. So even someone named Brian Kohlberger.
And guys, even when you look at this stuff, it looks fairly new. All right. I just want to add to that real quick. I don't want to stop too much, but I also want to use fair use and tell you the way that everything was framed, the way the backpack, it all looked new. Like they had purchased that. The gloves, it's like they had went out maybe the weekend before, because it's obviously premeditated, but gone wrong. And yeah, maybe a change of clothes was in there. I was thinking that too. All right, Eric, it's not a rumor if FBI says it's a fact. Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about, but that's funny.
It was brilliant in some ways, but like made such elemental mistakes. So they're probably checking the Amazon histories of all the family and maybe contractors who show up at the house, right? Like, and then beyond that, you got to go the other end of the transaction, the sellers. That you can't just go to Amazon and say, who bought a face mask? Can you? I don't know if you can, but you definitely can go to the retail stores and say, do you sell this backpack? Look at it. And it was very distinctive looking. I still haven't figured out whether those are lights on his shoulder straps or reflective patches, you know, but it's a very distinctive backpack and we have both the front and the back of it pictured. Very helpful, no?
Very helpful. Very helpful. I think it's you've highlighted the key areas as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, there are people saying that the cartel might have done that because Tommaso owed them money for gambling, but it still would tie back to Tommaso, right? I don't know anything about the cartel, so I'm not going to try to speculate any of that. And Tiff, it's good to see you in chat. I hope you're feeling a little bit better, right?
Which are the most identifiable in trying to obviously trace the firearm. I agree. I think even in terms of the ski mask, I think that's could be a lost leader in trying to follow inquiries on that. It would be very difficult. And who knows, maybe he knitted it or a family member knitted it. I mean, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's been bought from a retail store. But I think the backpack, certainly, trousers, certainly the jacket, certainly. Those are the 3 areas I'd be most concentrating on.
Absolutely.
One of our audience members is pointing out, can we play the video where he realizes that he's got to turn around, he's got to go back out and get the vegetation, and where he bends down, and she raised something that I actually has been gnawing at me too. Is there something wrong with this guy's leg or knee? Watch, like when he turns around and goes back out there, hold on, he's trying to do his little tap thing to get the Nest camera off, which does not work. Stand by. Okay, now he's backing up. Okay, so like where he bends over there, he doesn't look very facile. He doesn't look very limber. And when he bends over there, he doesn't look like the most limber person either.
He's like very.
Made me wonder. I'm really going out on a limb here, but like the calmness with which he executed the crime, and maybe an injury. Could you possibly be looking for somebody, you know, former law enforcement? That's who committed that Exxon kidnapping. Former law enforcement, or was he former, Jim? Was he current? Anyway, he was definitely law enforcement.
Former Exxon security, which of course was Exxon security vice president who was kidnapped.
Okay.
I mean, I think that was a good point that she made, but I think it's also because they have double clothing on. Okay, because those hands didn't move. It's like he had claws. When you have that many damn pairs of gloves on, you can't move your hands. Even one pair of those thick gloves drives me nuts sometimes because I can't feel what I'm doing and my hands don't move as well. You saw the hands kind of stayed like this. And the reason I think the stiffness was because, like Mab said, they bought 2 of everything and they double layered. So you're not going to be you're going to be more stiff and not so limber, right? All right, let's continue so we can finish this up. I have things to do, you guys do, and we want to get to the giveaways.
I don't know. I guess you guys, I think, might conclude, based on what you told me yesterday, Maureen and Fitz, that probably not former law enforcement, given the way he's holding that gun. That doesn't, right? And so then maybe not former military either.
But he's altering the way he walks when he approaches the front porch and the camera, because people can say, oh, he looks surprised that there's a camera, but what we know is how he's dressed. He's dressed to conceal his identity. He has a set of gloves under the nitrile gloves. He may have leggings on under those pants to make him look a little bit heavier than he is
or
her, which I don't know. That facial hair looks pretty legit, but what do I know? So I think it's an altered gait, just on the off chance that someone gets some video off this thing, or if he can't destroy the camera right away, or whatever his plan was, because he definitely 100% is altering the way he walks and his stance as he approaches that camera. Would you guys agree with that?
It doesn't look natural.
No.
Nope.
But most likely for utilitarian purposes, as opposed to a nagging injury of some sort. We can't rule it out, of course, but he perfectly has his head down, and he has a big backpack on. We don't know how heavy that thing is.
That's what I was thinking too. The heavy backpack, and it looks heavy and full, but we don't know because at one point he doesn't even have it, or she, or whoever.
And what's in there, of course. So his gait is going to be a little bit, sort of off in that regard. He may have had some practice runs. Let's not forget too, all the things they're looking for. I'm not sure if they sell flashlights that strictly are designed for the mouth, that you push the button, and you squeeze it somehow and the light goes on. That's something else I'm hoping. There can't be too many people that buy those things within 100 miles of Tucson. So I'm hoping that is something they focus on. It could be a clue like that really helps.
There were some astute viewers who wrote in about that, what looks like a mouth flashlight of some kind.
It is.
Saying that you would have to remove from your mouth with your gloves. And there could be a transfer of, your saliva onto the exterior of your gloves. And those gloves then had to touch things in Nancy's home. So that's actually somewhat promising. This guy probably does have his own saliva remnants on those gloves, and definitely used the gloved hands to go into the home and hurt Nancy and get Nancy. And I'm sure he touched something. Go ahead.
There's one thing I wanted to say about that transfer, because that's a very good point. That is a mouth flashlight. And
I didn't even realize that at first. I didn't know that there was a mouth flashlight you can hold and press on. I thought most people would put the ones on their head, but that makes sense. And you guys are cracking me up in chat. I'm sorry. I'm reading your comments, chat's flying, and just, my goodness. All right, we're almost there, guys. Hit the like button, drop a comment. We're about to give 6 things away. So let's go.
You turn it off and on by biting on it. A lot of apparently airline mechanics and stuff.
There you go. So that is not a gold tooth, my friends. It's a light.
Stuff like that, or people that deal with wires and stuff, they'll use it so that their hands can remain free while they do their work. And it's pretty much the same technology as those headlamp ones that you get. But with regard to the gloves, a lot of people always think that I'm wearing gloves, my DNA can't get anywhere, but everyone underestimates the number of times they touch their face, no matter what. Just going like this.
True.
And now you touch something. So that's going to be the DNA stuff. And the way you find that sometimes, like even if we look at the, when they took Nancy's car out of the garage, it could have been something as simple as when they went back in there and they looked at they turned off the lights and they turned on the flashlights. I used flashlights extensively, and you could see that there's an area where the dust has been swiped away. That's an area you want to look at and you want to test. You're certainly not going to test the entire vehicle as a general rule, but if there's an area like that where the dust is disturbed, that's where it got swiped, and that's where the transfer potentially could have occurred.
Well, let me ask you, Will and James, what you think. Ran this by our other panelists yesterday. There's one photo in the series that's been released by Kash Patel that shows, we think, this same abductor farther back without the backpack. And you can't see his face at all. It's either because the camera is too pixelated. That's what we were.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm seriously, that looks like Jason Voorhees from the original Friday the 13th, man. What the heck? It's just like a bag over his head. Yeah, DNA, hair, all that stuff. A bite light. That was the first time I heard of that tape. Texas Plain Jane, the way that person is carrying a pistol is scary. I agree. It is very scary. I'm just going to go with that. All right. Thank you, Nina. If I missed that, if I missed anybody's, I apologize. I will come back to it. Nina, thank you for the $3 super sticker. I do appreciate that. Did I miss something? Jules to Kelly, can someone clear this up? On day one, I heard NG went for dinner, then somewhere else to play games. What's the second location? Okay, so I think you might have misheard it wrong. I think they were playing games at dinner, is what I heard them saying. I thought they were had dinner and then they played mahjong, is what I heard. So I'm trying to clear that up, and thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, if I missed the super sticker, thank you. And Sherlock Homegirl, thank you for being a member for 7 months. We love you too. And thank you to Nina. I don't want to miss anybody's anything. All right, well, let's wrap this up. That looks like Friday the 13th. Jason, tomorrow is Friday the 13th, by the way, everybody. So
speculating yesterday, or maybe he's turned it around entirely. But here's the shot. You cannot see any sort of a backpack whatsoever. I don't think you can see the gun. We zoomed in on it yesterday. And you cannot see the holes for the eyes or the mouth. Yes. And this too was released to us by the FBI. Now I can go with maybe pixelation too far away on the face mask, I guess, but no backpack. The backpack, there was all this reflective stuff and the lights or whatever's on it. Like, what do you think we're seeing there?
I mean, just jumping in there, James, if you don't mind. There's a couple of quick questions, Megan. Were you given actually unedited footage which ran continually, or are these just snapshots which were provided by the Bureau? So yes, again, they may not necessarily be consecutive. There may have been an initial probe. Sometimes they will make an initial approach to see, is there anybody else in the house? Is it undisturbed? Is there just one person there? It's quiet. Everyone's gone to bed. So he may have returned, or she may have returned, to go and get that backpack from their vehicle and then make that actual approach. So it could have been an initial probe. But the thing that, certainly before I pass to James, the thing that really confuses me, and I'm sure I'd love to hear the opinions of the others, is there are so many contradictions in this whole method of approach. He's using a torch which has to be activated by the mouth rather than a head torch, and it's not a question of him being necessarily seen by anybody with a head torch, because he's carrying his weapon obviously outside of his waistband. Right. So, and again, the gloves, the mask, the ill-preparedness for actually removing the Ring doorbell. There are so many contradictions here, from what could have been professional to what's somewhat of a clown show and an amateur.
Yeah.
And a MacGyver.
Yes, totally. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of this. I was looking at the picture to see if the shoes were the same, to make sure we've got, the same.
Me too. That's what I was trying to do. I kept trying to do that and check the shoes, but I'm like, it goes back and forth.
In person, and maybe not.
A lot of our online sleuths watching us on YouTube say the shoes look different to them. That the shoes from, faceless man look different from the shoes. Yeah. But overall, I would say it looked very similar to the guy who we know approached the door.
Yeah, when we're doing like surveillance training, we're always taught, shoes, watches, and glasses, people don't usually change those. And so I always kind of look there first. And this person's shoes are different. So is it two people? I don't know. It might be the same.
See, that's the thing. It might be a second person, or might be two people, or it might not. We don't know. And law enforcement has barely told us anything. And I know you guys, after you're done here, you're going to hop all over the breaking news. And you know what the breaking news is right now? FBI and sheriff collide over evidence. That's what it is. Everybody's pissed about it. They're pissed about the DNA, or the possible DNA and the glove being found inside of the house, and the sheriff blocking evidence. So just something to expect. That's what everybody's talking about right now.
Same person, they're wearing the same outfit. Could be two. The eye holes missing is odd. But I think I agree with Will. It's quite possible. This is the early. They came up, approached, see what they're dealing with. Then they come back with the backpack, and then they do this, silliness with the flowers to do the obfuscation of the camera. But for me, this looks like a probing in the beginning before the actual act.
International disputes, inflation, rising national.
All right, we're done, guys. Thank you guys for being patient with me and going through this. Now we're going to do a giveaway. Hit that like button, get yourself a membership while you have an opportunity, and let me remove this. I'll put that up for a second so you guys are not staring at nothing. Synth, are you here? And by the way, Synth, my chat is flying on your end, but on my end, it's not. So just bear with me, or if you need something, text me if I'm doing something wrong. All right, because I can't communicate through chat with you. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start with this. Let me get rid of everything on the screen and show you that we're doing a giveaway, and the giveaway is this. Let me make sure. In honor of, this is from Synth, our mod, and our family, right? In honor of my little sister and brother, little sis and bros and Foxy's birthday, we're doing cookies plus candies giveaway. All right, we're gonna give this away. Synth, please drop your link in chat for your stuff. Yeah, then I'm doing synths real quick first, and then I'll do the Foxy. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna do 4 things. You guys tell me what you want. Do I do Foxy's first? Come on, ladies. Anyway, Foxy Box, I can't really tell you what that is. It's customizable for all right, I super sticker for the link. Okay, you put the link in there. Let me it still takes a minute. And I also missed this. Thank you. This is absolutely turned into a circus. And you know why? It's because there's no lead investigation and they're just botching. They're going over each other. I think you missed your thing in there. But anyway, that is Synth. You can get to her directly. BYTE, very clever cookies.com. We're giving them away. All right. So we're going to give 4 of them away. And I'm going to keep the link up there. All right. She does an amazing job, and I just love eating the cookies. She sent me cookies for my birthday and send me and Baby Guilty. They're so good. And she prints all this cool stuff on them. So there we go. We're going to give a set of 4 Guilty of Crime cookies away and Valentine's Day M&Ms. 4 lucky winners. Synth, you can decide who gets what. I'm going to pull 4 names out of my sorter, and then you guys are going to reach out to Synth directly, and she'll send you your prize. Now, I just found out from this giveaway, these giveaways, you do not have to be a Guilty of Crime member to win any of the 4 sets. But with the Foxy Box, you got to be a member for one and not the other. All right? Okay, we're good. Let's go. I know everyone. Drum roll, please. Tiff says, I want the M&Ms. That's funny. All right, so your link's there. You can drop it in chat. They can see it in chat. Synth is going to decide who gets what and where. You guys will email her after this, after I put the app sorter on. And where is it? What did I miss? I got so many things open. It's hard to pull it up. All right, little bro Chris is 29 and little sister Carrie is 35. Thank you. Thank you. Mama Pearl sent in a super sticker. Thank you. Jules, great night. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. All right, and we got that one. Thank you. I'll put this back up since we're giving that away. Synth, you might want to drop your email down, all right, so people can email you. It takes a while to come through, but if you send it all, or just, I don't even know which email you use right now. I'm brain dead, guys. All right, 4 giveaways. Let's go. And I still have things to do. I just got off of work, came straight home, did this, and now I got other stuff to do. So I didn't realize how late it is. Drum roll. 4 lucky people. There's still 626 people in chat. Y'all are going to want to be here. All right, so you guys have to reach out to Synth and get it. This is Judy. Is it Judy La Scala 8305? She says, let's go. So she's on board. Okay, I'm calling 4 names, and it doesn't matter if you're a member or not, but it is your job to claim your prize for yourself. Okay. I definitely can't. I love you guys, but I can't keep track of all that. So there it is. Number 1 winner is Judy Callis, 8305. Reach out to synth.server@gmail.com. All 4 winners. We have winner number 1. Now let's get to winner number 2. All right. So we're going to refresh all these bad boys. We're going to go back and give it a nice, clean, fresh start. So you guys know it's nice and fair. I'm going to redrop the link in chat. And here we go. Winner number 2. All right, winner number 2. Drum roll, please. Let's go. Again, that's how you get claim your prize. Okay, a gray truck. They're looking for a gray truck now. Awesome. All right, next winner is, and these are still the cookies and the candy, and it's your job to reach out to Synth. Paul Tinney. C is for Cooley is what it says. This person is P-A-L Paul, and then T-I-N-N-E-Y. 1507. There you go. C is for Cody. Congratulations, winner number 2. There's the contact information. Again, it's your job to claim your prize. All right, next. All right, let's refresh this. Make sure we get a fair shot. Hit continue and confirm, and drum roll, please. Winner number 3 is coming up. All right, and you reach out down there. Go ahead and email Synth to get your package. Sunshine Lady. Yes, I've seen Sunshine Lady on here almost every day. Congratulations, Sunshine Lady. Reach out to Synth and get your prize. All right. All right. Last one. And Sunshine Lady was waiting for this. She says, drum roll. All right. Final 4th winner. And then we're giving away 2 Foxy boxes, 1 to the public, anybody, and 1 to a crime crew member. All right, here's winner number 4. All right, winner number 4. Here we go. Last one. Drum roll, please. All right, we've got, my eyes are getting bad. Nice. I'm Jay Scott, and we've got Anna Scott, 1902. Congratulations to you, ANNA SCOTT 1902 says congratulations. Well, congratulations to you, Anna Scott 1902. Please make sure that you claim your prize from Synth. Contact information's below. All right. Sunshine Lady asked what Synth's email is. Synth's email is plastered all over my screen. synth.serber@gmail.com. Congratulations to winner number 4. Now we're giving away the Foxy box to 1 guilty of crime member. You got to be in green. And then the last one will be to anybody. And again, it's your job to claim your prize. Okay. All right. Thank you. You have no idea how bad I am at keeping track of this stuff. All right. That was the last one, right? All right. So we gave away 4. Did I just do that right? Yes, that was the last one, or was this the last one? I'm going to do it and you tell me. Text me. Did we get 3 or 4? Was that the 4th one? Synth, do you want me to call you? So we gave away, who's the last one that we just gave it to? I already forgot. So yay to number 4. We're now on number 5, and that is not to Synth any longer. This is going to guilty of prizes at gmail.com. And this is a Foxy box. Guilty of prizes, right? At gmail.com. All right, let me put that up real quick. These are the last 2 Foxy boxes. Okay, so let me refresh this. This is going to, you have to be in green and a crime crew member like Daisy, Midnight Lace, Cheeky, Cool and Chris, etc. All right, fingers crossed, drum roll. This is a Foxy box for a member. 555 are in chat still. Say a prayer that Nancy Guthrie is brought home. Okay, Skylar. Skylar says, yay, winner. So what I'm going to do with you, Skylar, is I'm going to go ahead and give you that Foxy box. You are not a crime crew member, but 1 goes to a non-crime crew member and 1 goes to not. And I don't want to waste time here. So you, Skylar, reach out to guiltyofprizes@gmail.com and get yourself, for 1. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, for 1 member and 1 non-member. I'm going to give Skylar a non-member one. Now I'm going to do the member. All right. All right. Let's continue. Yeah. Skylar, you got it. You're good. Guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. Now, the last one that I give away, you have to be a member. All right. You say you just like seeing who's winning, but you won. All right. So last one, you got to be a guilty of crime member. All right. Got to be in green. I can't do it otherwise. People that help keep the channel going every day, which you do just by hitting the like button and subscribing. You do. All right. Last one, Foxy box. You have to claim your own prize, guys. Guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. And you got to be a crime crew member. Cheeky, I know for a fact, is a crime crew member, right? Yes. All right, Cheeky, whether you're here or not, Whether you won or not, you won again. That's it. That's all. We're done. All right. Now, let's get to it, guys. Everybody, guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. We got Skylar was the first winner of the Foxy Box. Cheeky wins the Foxy Box. For a crime crew member, congratulations. And then we had 4 members to go to synth.server@gmail.com. Again, you guys, it's your job to claim your prizes. If you totally get confused and don't know what the hell is going on, just email guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com and I'll direct you to wherever you need to go. Okay. But again, it's your job to claim your own prize. All right. Cheeky, we love seeing you every day. Thank you. And congratulations to you on that Foxy Box. All right. I don't know why my camera's going wonky right now, but I guess it doesn't matter. I have things to do, and I think it's because it's getting dark outside and the light's changing. Okay, congratulations. Love you all. Let me make sure I did not miss a thing. You guys have a beautiful weekend. I will see you next week. Remember, I'm off tomorrow, so please don't do a wellness check on me. I did not disappear. I've got a date with the family tomorrow and this whole weekend for Valentine's Day. Love you guys. If there's breaking news, I'll probably come on and do a different format and talk to y'all. But otherwise, I'll be back next week on Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Thank you guys. Love you. Thanks for all your support. Hit the like button on your way out. And if you get the opportunity to hype this video, please do. I appreciate that so much. Last super sticker of the night, UA767 gave me $19.99. Thank you. And happy birthday to everybody that's having a birthday today. Foxy, you're having a birthday this weekend. Happy birthday. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I hope to see you guys next week. Carrie, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. And Jenna and everybody else that's here every day. Midnight Lace, we appreciate you so much. I hope you guys appreciate Guilty of Crime as much as we appreciate you. And Guilty of Crime is not me. I'm just the host, okay? My name is Jay with Guilty of Crime, but really, this is my channel manager, Carly, and then I've got all my mods. I got Synth and Tiff and Holly and Mama Pearl, and who else did I miss? Foxy. All right, so we got a lot of Guilty of Crime is all of us. I'm just Jay with Guilty of Crime, the host. Without them, I couldn't do this. So thank you. You guys have a wonderful night. Love you all. Be safe. Talk to you soon. Good night.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty?